Enjoy.
Thanks, Andrew.
I'll be back in a few short hours.
Can you turn my noise down, please,
Yeah,
AJ?
yeah.
Sorry, I think I have Frank's headset.
It'll take me a second to figure out.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm the red one. Well, hello, ladies.
Hola!
From our little bunker is what I like to call this studio.
What's going on?
It feels like we are safe from a hurricane, a tornado. I don't really know that much about tornadoes. Thunderstorms. It feels like we're safe from all of that.
Listening to you on Friday from here, I just want to know, are we going to have another incident?
Well, I will not be concentrating on any leaderboard updates since the Open Championship
I
is in
couldn't
the
hear
books.
it, so I don't know what
No
other
one
people were hearing.
else could hear it other than Jeff, apparently.
Okay.
And it was just me literally concentrating and then going, which isn't a big deal.
No.
But if you are used to hearing
Right.
no noises and then you hear that, then it sounds like Darth Vader and you want to strangle the person next to you. But yeah, yes. So there will be no concentrating. I'm just winging it tonight. I'm technically on vacation this week, but I am
Yes.
happy to be here with the two of you and talk a little bit of Jaguars. Although there's not great news, the Jaguars' quiet off season that we had all hoped for ended last week. Blythe, your guy, Dante Fowler Jr., you were down on him, then you got behind him. Once you read that he will be suspended and then we'll start the season on the PUP list, meaning he does have some sort of injury, he won't be able to start against the Giants. How do you feel now?
To me, it was more in regards to the NFL. Why did they wait so long to suspend him? I mean, this incident that we're talking about is the whole, when he got into, I guess, a traffic aggression with another man, ended up smashing his glasses, threw his bottle of liquor in the lake. Like, when we first heard about it, it was one of those things where, like, oh, here go the same old Jaguars again, and this is just another story to add, you know, another notch in our belt as far as embarrassment is concerned. But as far as the NFL is concerned, why did they wait so long to make a one-game suspension for this?
The Jameis Winston incident happened in March of 2016 and with the Uber driver, and they're just now coming down with the punishment. So I can't answer your question other than it seems like they're trying to eventually say we've done all the research we can do, and this is why we're coming up with this result versus what the court is coming up with.
It's so crazy to me that they're coming out with any kind of suspension this far or this far out from when the actual incident happened. Because when the suspension news got dropped, I thought he did something new, and I said, oh man, here we go, Dante, you were supposed to be coming back, like you were supposed to be my guy. But then I found out it was from a past transgression. I'm like, oh well, that doesn't matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. I mean, he ended up getting 8 sacks last season in a backup role. He'll miss the first game of this season. I'm not too sure about the injury yet. I'm not sure if they can disclose what the actual injury is for. That would be more concerning to me than the one-game suspension for last summer's incident.
I'm right there with her. When that news came out, I'm like, well, what do he do now? Because I was so confused. And especially because Coughlin came out and said, you know, we're aware of the suspension and it'll be dealt with and blah, 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 blah. It took me a while to be like, really? And I'm right there. I completely agree with Blythe. I don't understand what else goes on in the one section of the league office that deals with this. What else do you have to do other than this is what happened? All right, let's look at our chart, which is already off of the bonkers. Well, we give 4 games for this. We give 2 games for that. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's in this range. I don't understand what there is to think about a year later.
I guess they go back and dig through all of the court records. Then they go and maybe talk to the victims. And I'm not quite sure if that really happens or if that's just what I would do if I was the NFL. But I would have tried to go talk to the elderly man in this situation and say, okay, what happened from your perspective? Right. And then you talk to Dante Fowler Jr. and you say, what happened from your perspective? And then I guess in the end, what the NFL is deciding is we are going to be the police for our league. It has nothing to do with the judicial system. I cannot say judicial system. It has everything to do with what we decide is best for our publicity is what I really think. And I think, Blythe, you've said in the past, like moral police. And I do think that's what the NFL is trying to do is they're saying it no longer has to be black and white. If you're found guilty, then this happens. It now is going to be taken upon us to decide what we think is good for our league and what we think is bad publicity for our league. And if you bring bad publicity, you're going to get a suspension.
I think it's almost bad publicity on their part to not have any kind of consensus punishment for certain crimes and transgressions. I mean, you'll have one guy who takes steroids and he'll get 4 games, and meanwhile Jameis Winston, is going to miss 3 games for sexually assaulting a woman. So it's sort of like, what is the scale and what are you guys going off of? Because to me, there is no scale, and now it just creates more bad PR for the NFL because they don't have any kind of consistent punishment. But as far as like Dante Fowler is concerned, he's going to miss that Giants game, but I feel like it's going to make him even more hungrier whenever we play the Patriots at home.
Well, and the injury, like you said, is the interesting part. When you hear undisclosed injury, you don't know what that means for his future. And I don't know why I always think, anytime you don't get an exact thing, I always think that
It's worse.
I always think it's that hernia that Jalen Ramsey dealt with, that D.D. Westbrook dealt with. I could be way off. That's just my gut.
It almost
Anytime
seems
that
like
you
it's
hear
something that could hamper
Or like a
season
hammy.
long if it's not taken care of.
Perhaps, yeah. And so I do think the injury is more concerning than the 1-game suspension. You're not going to, once you've been through the preseason, training camp and then the preseason, you're not going to forget how to play football. 1 game is not going to ruin you. And the Giants' offensive line, while improved over last year, still isn't one of the best units in the NFL. So I don't really think he's missing going up against great competition. And he is a backup. So I think what happens now is then the coaches get to look and figure out who they want to back up Yannick Ngakoue from here on out. Is it going to be Dwan Smoot? Is it going to be a guy like Lorente McCray who's played a lot of special teams? That's what the coaches then will figure out because of Dante's absence. It's frustrating in a sense, both the suspension and the injury, because you wanted this to be the breakout year for him. After getting injured his rookie year and then slowly coming along, and you know, the book on him has been that he hasn't had great pass rush moves. He's relied on his athleticism. So now it's finally to that point where put it all together, go out there and show everyone why you should have gotten the 5th year option and why you deserve a big contract going forward. And now we're kind of left back in, well, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this guy.
Well, hopefully he plays hungry, he plays angry, and that'll lead to better things for the Jaguars, even if he is playing in a backup role, which he probably will be.
So you're saying you want Dante to take off Tom Brady's head in week 2?
Just slightly.
Of the
Just a
Patriots?
little. Maybe leave it attached, partially decapitated.
Okay, have y'all been, Donna, I'm pretty sure you have been because you suggested this topic. Have y'all been watching Shark Week?
It intermittently, like I have turned it on just to see what.
Is it good? I've heard in recent years, I used to be religious about watching it.
It depends on when you catch it, because sometimes you'll see, old repeats of stuff. You're like, I know I've already seen this,
Right. Like I remember the one year where they had they were filming in South Africa, and that was the first time you saw the great white sharks jump up out of the water, and I thought that was unbelievable. But I haven't really seen much impressive
Well,
stuff
this year
since.
they've had so far a mako shark jump out of the water. It was the first time that they had been able to catch that.
A mako shark?
A mako shark.
What's a mako shark?
It's a smaller shark than the great white, but faster and.
It looked really cool.
Yeah, another very violent shark. I mean, some people listening are probably like, all sharks are violent. No, that's not true. But I have found, I'm riveted. Some years I don't watch, especially if I'm about to take a water vacation. But this year I just went scalloping, so all my water vacations are behind me. So I'm watching pretty much every minute of it. And I am fascinated by the fact that someone as in the prime of his career as Aaron Rodgers would be willing to get into the ocean with a shark within 1 foot from him, and then his job is to just push the shark's nose out of the way, and then the shark turns directions. While I'm watching, I'm constantly going, I can't believe he's doing this. Or Lindsey Vonn, I can't believe she's doing this. Shaq, okay, I kind of get, your athletic career is behind you, and now you spend your time kind of being silly, and he was with Rob Riggle, and I didn't love that.
See, I didn't know they even had an athletic aspect to it.
Oh, yeah, now this time it was Aaron Rodgers, Lindsey Vonn, and
Gronk did his
Rob
own.
Gronkowski, right.
Yeah.
And they were all separate in different places.
And are they swimming with aggressive sharks, or are they swimming with a whale shark?
No. They are swimming with aggressive sharks. And I forget who was with what, but Lindsey was with a white tip. I want to say Rodgers was with a bull shark, and I want to say Gronk was with a tiger shark, but I could have them mixed up.
Tiger sharks and bull sharks are the most aggressive out of all breeds.
And that's why I'm sitting there stunned, and the whole time, I mean, I know that these guys have not gotten hurt, right? If they had gotten hurt, we would have heard about it. But my heart is pounding out of my chest. I have such anxiety, and I cannot believe that they're in the water with them. So, Donna, you asked the question, would you swim with the sharks? My answer is obviously already been stated. Absolutely not. Not even in the cage. And by the way, the cage that they have them in, there's like a big hole in the cage. A shark got in the cage with Shaq. Like, no, thank you. But I'm going to toss the question y'all's way.
Oh, I would.
What?
I would love it. Yeah, in a heartbeat, I would
You
love
would
it.
love it?
Yeah, I love the ocean.
I do too, but I don't love the predators.
No, I would love it. I would be right there next to Gronk, and I thought it was so fun. I forgot what show it was when they were showing it because it was all over, all over all the sports shows, and one of them's like, sharks aren't scared of Gronk. They're looking surprised, like, who is this behemoth in the water with us? I was just laughing. I'm like, that would be fun. It would, be interesting until obviously my arm went the other way and then I'd be screwed, but I think it would be fun. I wouldn't.
And would TJ care?
He wouldn't go in at all.
But would he care if you went in?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
See, I would get in with the cage, and then I would actually swim with like a whale shark, because those are like I think the second largest fish species in the ocean. But there also is another company that used to be not based out of here, but they've done a lot of research off the coast. Is O-Search, and their specialty is tagging great white sharks, and they actually tagged one right up Mary. They tagged Mary right off the coast of Jacksonville Beach, and now you can go onto their website and you can watch all of the sharks and see where they swim and all of the sharks that they've tagged. It's pretty fascinating.
Well, and that's what the three of them, Lindsey Vonn, Gronk, and Aaron Rodgers, that was their job. It was called monster tagging, and they had to tag the shark. And so, each one was in a different situation, but they learned how to tag the dorsal fin of the shark. Do you know how close you have to be to tag the shark? And also, Gronk was in the water when he was with the tiger shark, when it was released, because they had already tagged him. And he's like, yeah, you never know if the shark's going to be mad and come at you. And I'm like, again, if I'm Bill Belichick or if I'm Mike McCarthy, the head coach of the Packers, I'm going, no, you're not allowed to do this.
Could you imagine the insurance policies that they have to probably sign for
For
that?
sure.
And, by the way, I don't know if y'all saw the Ronda Rousey one, but Rousey, so she had her own episode. I forget what hers was called.
Did she wrestle the shark?
She did not.
Okay.
She did a series of different things, and they kind of did it in a UFC fashion, even though she doesn't fight for UFC anymore. And they did like round 1, round 2, and the main event, and each one got progressively more dangerous. Well, she was diving with a guy who'd lost limbs to a shark, and I applaud him. I'm not anti-shark at all. I'm pro-ocean and pro-conservation in the ocean and all that stuff. But if the person next to you has lost limbs, don't you eventually rethink it? And it was kind of cute because her new husband, Travis Brown, I think is his name, was on the boat the whole time while she was underwater. And you could tell he was more nervous than her throughout it all. But I just think, if I was Aaron Rodgers or Gronk or Lindsey Vonn, I would say, when my career is over, then maybe I'll go chase some high adrenaline type stuff, but not in the midst of my playing career.
Especially Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Lindsey Vonn is kind of, I think, on the tail end of her career, but Aaron Rodgers, you have $1 million arm, $10 million probably arm. I wonder how much his arm is actually insured. I'm sure it is.
See, and I would agree, Gronk's, this is probably his last year anyways.
Yeah, but one more year.
He's gonna go to WrestleMania, and
so good.
He's just gonna be some goofball on MTV. So
one other quick thing: Lindsey Vonn, they listed her height and weight, which a lot of times they don't do for women, and it said 5'10", 160, and then they showed her full length in her bikini. And I was like, that is a dang good looking 160.
Right,
probably all muscle.
160, because she doesn't look overly buff or anything. She looks like a beautiful woman.
Wait, how tall is she?
5'10", so she's 2 inches taller than me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Well, anyway, Jaguars wide receiver DJ Chark has certainly been enjoying this week.
Yes, he has.
With Chark Week or
it's
Shark
fun.
Week. All right, when we come back, we're going to get it to the Patriots. I just mentioned Bill Belichick, and Donna mentioned earlier his tactics. We will get to that and a whole lot more. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Fenders Homes on 1010XL.
So your live reads next break.
Next break, and which one is that? Dream Fenders? Okay, and then
And then you have a minute.
Yeah, that's Bold City.
Yeah.
Gotta take one of the ear
That's
pieces
8:30.
off.
8:30? Okay.
Yeah. Ashland, right?
Ashland's not until 8.
8.
Yeah. And do you have her number? If not,
Yeah, I do.
okay. Go buy a water.
Oh, that little cafeteria is badass.
I love the cafeteria.
They got a gym here too.
Yeah.
We saw this lady who, like, on Friday, I guess she's been working here for, like, decades. And she comes walking in and we're all trying to figure out, like, how to work it. And, Andrew's like, hey, do you work here? And I was, like, cringing because I know that she's worked here forever.
Aww.
The hacker is like, dude, she's on TV every night.
Aww.
Wait, which one is she?
Ouch.
I don't know.
Ouch.
The older blonde lady.
So do I need any
Okay.
instructions on how to use it?
It's with the machine. You have to scan your card before you actually scan the item. I
Okay.
think
Okay.
you would think, right? Took us a while.
Kind of like a vending machine, but in
No,
a way.
it's more serious than a vending machine.
So in case you guys haven't noticed, we're in a temporary home for a couple weeks. We're actually at Channel 4 studios. So you won't be able to hear any of the sound until for a couple more weeks. But you can hear most of the sound, just not the sound clips. Let's see if this...
Oh, so
Nice, good.
that email about you recording stuff.
Oh, I already did it.
Oh, did
Let's
you?
see
Yeah,
if this
Cole
makes
was
it a
here.
little
I
better.
called Dave Hall. You know Dave Hall? He
Didn't one of those. Okay.
Cole just brought me over
Just
there.
attached a little mic.
Which, speaking
I'm like, the salespeople obviously don't know that we can't really do anything.
well, they sound good. Thank you, Donna. Awesome. Who keeps calling our voicemail and leaving messages?
Oh, real quick. Tell me if those work now?
What?
Preview?
They work only in your headphones.
Well, that's all I need them to work.
Mm-hmm.
If it, yeah, you're on air. Should work. Don't hear it?
No.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Did your headphones go dead?
No.
Oh,
Technical
previewing
difficulties.
headphones. There you go.
Oh. Nice.
Hey, we're not posting anything to our SoundCloud these next 2 weeks.
Tyler said no.
No.
Right?
You could, but you'd have to go do it.
Okay,
that
so Ron Compton talked to me.
night. I talked to him too. I'll
So-
help you with that in a minute.
Okay.
Listen to that.
Can you please call this man back and inform him that we are not posting anything while we are out of the station for 2 weeks? Period. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
I mean, the voicemail literally states we are not at our station.
What was the one calling about? Tickets?
No, he's like, I've noticed that nothing's been posted
Good.
on SoundCloud.
So
Sorry, we're not posting.
if
that's a
he
good thing that
calls
people are
my
relying
cell
on it,
phone
yeah, so-
off of that little machine,
Does the
tomorrow-
app
You'll
still
get the
work?
number and you can call him on that.
The
Okay,
app works
cool.
You
fine?
can call that number, but you have to answer it like right away because if
That
it rings more
works.
than twice, it goes
But-
to voicemail.
So if I just use the cell phone number or the number you
Yeah.
called me, okay,
Yeah.
we should be good.
But I'll text you that number.
Just in
anyway.
case.
Yeah.
Thank you, boss.
Oh.
All right, starting to figure everything out around here.
Yeah, Taylor sent you.
Oh, real quick, can all y'all put your headphones on real fast so I
Yes.
can make sure that I know
Yep.
which ones?
Yep.
So the volume was going down.
Ooh, it's loud now. Maybe because they're singing.
Is that all the way down?
Mine's all the way down.
Oh.
Okay,
very
so
loud.
you're 2.
Okay.
Now I'll put it back on. Is that going down?
Yes.
Okay, you're 3.
Yep.
Where do you want it?
A little bit higher, please. Good. Thank you.
And you. That's
My
you?
Yeah.
Where do you want it?
That's good.
1-year-old daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank
They're
you.
in.
So you're 4.
They're in my
One's
friend's
3.
her parents' garage.
Okay.
So the little girl, it's her mom, it's her grandfather. They're in the garage,
Okay.
and they have her dad always listens to Tintin, so they have it on.
Oh, y'all are using mics.
And she hears my voice on the radio, and all of a sudden she starts pointing.
Aw, that's so
She's
sweet.
like, "That's my." In her head, my friend thinks she's
That's
like,
so
"That's my
sweet.
friend." Isn't that adorable? Just a little 1-year-old. Well, now she's like 15 months, but still.
All right, let's see what y'all are doing.
Goes to the
Right.
equipment. All right, here we go.
All right. I got this in that office over there.
Got what?
This in that office
Oh,
over
yeah.
there. So next week when you come back, Welcome back to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes in our interesting location of Channel 4, not at the 1010XL studios.
With foamy walls.
They're so nice to host us.
Yes, they are. We greatly appreciate it, as there's construction being done at our location off of Hogan Road for a couple weeks. So if you are unable to see any updates on SoundCloud or anything like that, we apologize. There's just a lot of stuff we can't do. We don't have access to. So stick with us. We'll
Be
get through
patient.
it. Yep.
We're going to have marble floors and granite desks when we
Yeah.
get back.
Just like the courthouse.
It's going to be fabulous.
Just in time for preseason.
There's actually no
Week
construction
one.
going on inside the building.
Right. So I found Jimmy Garoppolo's been in the news a lot this past week, and he's been very talkative as well about everything from the being traded, Belichick, how he's treated him. He came out, I saw today, that Belichick would text him after every win, which was every game he started for the Niners, and congratulate him. They had a very good relationship, so much so that they could have gotten more. And by they, I mean the Patriots could have gotten more from Cleveland if he would have sent him, but he didn't want to send him to Cleveland. He wanted to have
He's got a grudge.
Jimmy G. He said he deserves better, and so he sent him somewhere better.
Wow.
Which, yes.
To the detriment of the Patriots, but good,
Right.
good for him.
Right. So he has such a rapport with him. So they asked him about how, you know, is Belichick really as tough as he seems, and does he really treat everybody equally? I mean, come on. Tom Brady getting treated equally, and Jimmy G said, yep, they all get treated the same, and he calls it, he shows lowlights of everybody. And by lowlights, he means here's highlights of all your low moments. And he will berate you in front of the entire team. This is what you did wrong. This is why you look like crap. He goes, it didn't matter what position you were, he was bringing you down, because he doesn't want any egos in that locker room. And he doesn't want anybody to think they're better than they are. So I immediately said, I would thrive in this, because it's a lot like my dance teacher growing up. I mean, she was tough as anything, and when she left, I think I might have been one of maybe 30 of us. We call ourselves the older girls, 30 of us, the only one that probably was devastated, because I thrive in that atmosphere.
Was there film and dance? Like, did she show your bad moves?
Oh no,
moves?
This was old school.
Okay.
So we would do shows at malls, at Sam's Clubs, at wherever we could do a show.
Sam's Club?
Oh, Sam's Club.
Where
We were at Sam's Club a lot. Let me tell you.
I'm trying to get some food samples, and y'all are dancing. I'm like,
Dancing.
get out of my way.
Yep.
Hopefully not in like the frozen food section. That would be very
No,
cool.
we'd have a little stage set up, but it was because you had to, you know, perform in front of people. It doesn't matter if one person was there; it's still considered an audience. So you got to prepare.
Well, I would have thrown tomatoes
I
at
know. We had to win those trophies, man. So
You win trophies at Sam's Club?
No.
No, we prepare. This prepared us for
I have a
competitions.
question. This is probably off
books
track. Who books it?
don't-
Who pays for that?
I don't-
Sam's?
I don't know. It's a very good question.
Do you have like a tip jar?
I'm sure we did.
It may not even be a payment thing. Sam's Club may do
Here's
that
your
as
free
a community
entertainment.
outreach thing.
Like when we tailgate and stuff for Jaguar games, there are constant like football players and even cheerleading squads that'll come up and they'll
Right.
do a little cheer and you give them $5 or whatever and they go about their way.
Yeah, no, we
go to
never had a
different
bucket.
spots.
They're
Powder.
raising
Anything.
money. Those teams that you're talking about are raising money usually for nationals or for uniforms for another
Right.
type of event.
No, our parents were forking over that money anyway.
So there was no tip jar.
No
You
tip jar.
couldn't make extra cash.
It was
That
more
sucks.
so. Miss Deb was her name. It was more so she could tell us, this is how bad you did in front of that audience, because you know
Someone
when you're
threw up
practicing,
their samples.
you're in front of a mirror the whole time. So she wants you out there and not knowing where everybody is. So you have to work together cohesively.
Did your parents ever show up to the Sam's Club?
Oh yeah, my parents showed up to almost all of them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Were they Sam's Club members?
Yeah, we still are.
Okay.
By the way.
I was going to say, otherwise, could you be like, excuse me, my daughter's performing. I don't have a membership.
I'm Costco
sure.
for life. Obligatory Costco for life. So I used to work there.
Anywho, Back. That was fun.
Back
I
to the
enjoyed that.
Belichick.
How would you react in that type of atmosphere?
I would thrive in that kind of environment to a certain point. Like I wouldn't. I definitely want to know every single aspect where I can improve in my craft, but I also don't want to. I don't want to have it be just like a pile-on fest, if that makes sense.
Like I wonder if, because all they do is mention about how he brings you. He doesn't want anybody to have egos. Is there ever a time where he pulls you aside and be like, okay, but this is what you did good?
Probably.
You know?
I mean, clearly, if he's sending text messages after his wins in San Francisco, I don't know if he's
his guy anymore.
Yeah,
so it
well,
doesn't matter.
that's
he
a good
can give
point.
him an ego all he wants.
But it's like the old saying goes: pride comes before the fall. So if he's constantly keeping his guys in check, then they probably won't fall.
I think to an extent, you have to be careful to make sure that the player or the employee in a non-football setting has enough tough skin to be able to deal with that method, because that method does not work for everyone. You
Right.
can't go around and constantly pick up someone's mistakes and think that they're going to get better because of that. Some people's personalities, sure, that will help them. Other people will just want to crawl inside a hole and cry and quit. So Belichick, I think, is smart enough, obviously, to have navigated which players respond to that constructive criticism, and I don't even know if you can call it constructive the way that he does it, but that
flat
very
out
harsh
criticizing
criticism, yeah. I appreciate criticism, but I don't appreciate it in front of a group. So that's where the film in front of everyone, you suck at that, or you sucked that
Right.
day at that. I don't know that I would respond to that in front of all my teammates. But if it was just, say, the quarterbacks in the room and then the coach is breaking down everything, then absolutely. I just don't want other people, almost laughing at trials and tribulations.
Right.
But I do think, like you said, to have someone making sure they're telling you are doing a good job, that is so important. And I don't care, no matter what line of work, someone has to appreciate what you're doing. And if you don't feel the appreciation, even no matter how self-motivated you are, you're still going to lose track of the goal because you're going to be mired down in all the negativity.
I feel like a lot of these players, they look for that little bit of an edge. They always
want
go
that
back
chip.
to, they always that chip on their shoulder. Even they're drafted in the first round. They say, well, 32 other, like Maurice
Right.
Jones-Drew, 32 other teams passed on me, so that's why he picks number 32. So I think that players, in order to get to the NFL, you have to have strong convictions in yourself. But I think what Belichick and even like a Tom Coughlin type with his extreme training camp that he had last summer, that it's being strong in your convictions is one thing, but being strong in those convictions when you have a bunch of doubters around you separates the good from the great.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they're trying to get that extra out of you by taking those aggressive, sometimes strenuous routes.
Doug Marone would argue and say, that was my training camp, not Tom Coughlin.
Sure.
Which is why it's impressive to me to see some of the players that have gone through there. Junior Seau late in his day. A lot of people. A lot of players that have gone through there, and ones that you think would be divas, Chad Ochocinco, Randy Moss, but they've stuck it through, and others didn't make it. So I just wonder if a lot of the rumors were always, Reggie Wayne, I think it was Reggie Wayne that tried. I don't remember. At the end of his career, some of them tried and then just couldn't do it, and the rumors were that they couldn't get the playbook because it's so massive and so obviously there's so many plays to learn. So I just wonder if it was that, or if it's like, you're not going to belittle me in front of anybody.
He's probably just a little older in his career and then just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Right. So
But that's the interesting part, because Randy Moss certainly was older, and he was willing to embrace
if anybody
the
was a
Patriot
diva.
way.
But he didn't win a ring before he went to.
No.
Did he? No, he didn't. So that was probably driving him more so than anything else.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of how Nick Saban is with Alabama.
Right.
You're going to play for the system. And yes, the system is produced by the coach, but you are going to say, like, almost, I think of it like when you're 18 years old, I am signing over the next 4 years of my life, my personal life, and obviously everything I do on this football field in the weight room, to this system. I'm not going to go against the system because I know that this is going to bring out the best person, or at least best football player that can possibly be produced in the next 4 years. And if you don't want to do that, then you don't go to the Alabamas or you don't go to the Patriots. You go somewhere else, but you're still working extremely hard. You just may not be winning that championship, so is it really worth it in the end?
I always thought, because that Belichick and Saban are good friends. Like, what kind of if you have just a football conversation between those two and you're a fly on the wall, it's got to be very interesting and you're going to learn a lot. But how boring would that be to hear both of those? Yeah, what do you think about this? Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think
they're
Saban's
the same
drier
person.
than Belichick. I think Belichick has a lot more personality than we give him credit for, at least in the interviews that I've seen. When he starts talking about the military and that kind of stuff, like, he comes to life. It's just football. He probably, I mean, they both probably view football as such an easy thing at this point, right? Like, I've mastered it. Yeah, my team didn't win last year if you're Belichick, but that's more because the players didn't execute the plays I put into place. If they had just executed, if Brady had just caught that ball, then, right, if they hadn't let the Eagles do the Philly special, then they would have won.
What you did that was bad again.
So, yeah, I think that's probably why, too, because they feel like they have figured it all out.
So back to Jimmy G, who was in the news first because of his wonderful date night that he had with a very interesting porn star.
All porn stars are probably interesting.
Very interesting. And so obviously that went viral immediately. And one person, though, that had to comment on it was Britt McHenry, which I thought, of all people, and there's quite a few people out there that probably shouldn't publicly comment on this because it's just going to come back and bite them in the face, was McHenry. And her comment was, Jimmy Garoppolo is the franchise quarterback of a prominent NFL team. He should have more values and class than parading a porn star in L.A. Slam me for saying that, but guarantee someone in his camp said the same thing. I guarantee she is correct. Someone in his camp, and many people are saying the same thing. But I am not calling no kettle, no pot, the same like, no, sweetheart. Class and values is not something you need to comment on.
I heard it was actually for charity, that he offered up a date for, and I tried to Google this earlier. I couldn't actually find verification of it.
But it didn't happen.
But we were talking about it in a conversation, and somebody had mentioned, well, yeah, she had paid money in order, so he had like a charity auction or whatever, and she paid the highest amount and was able to get a date with Jimmy G, and that's how it happened. Apparently,
I mean,
which would make more a better explanation than, because I would imagine there's a lot, and I don't mean to like beauty shame her or body shame, whatever we're calling it now, but there's a lot better looking porn stars than.
I completely agree.
When I saw her, I was like, porn star, yeah, good for Jimmy G, and then I see her, and I'm like, couldn't have made a better choice.
Like I
don't know of any better looking porn stars, but I'm sure yes.
I laughed so hard
when I saw. I was like, those things aren't.
When you guys for the drill were talking about it on Friday, and I texted Lauren right away, about the so-called movie titles that she was in. And I'm like,
Bra-busters.
Yeah, the Bra-busters. Obviously, my 8 months pregnant condition, I'm like, oh, I should be in that one,
I was dying. Donna said I could star in Bra-busters 4. You're pregnant. That's different.
There was one response to Britt that I thought was hilarious, and the guy, I guess she ended up blocking him, but he said, personally, I couldn't give a bleep who my quarterback dates unless it's someone who berates employees at a towing company and buys hundreds of thousands of fake followers to spew nonsense so she can be a dollar store Tommy Lauren.
See,
I thought that was perfect.
You
got to delete your whole life if you get a takedown like that.
That's why I don't understand. I'm like, oh, Britt, what? Why would you? Why would you make a comment?
I mean, you can debate whether or not someone should have sex for money on television or on camera for movies, right? That's a whole separate conversation. But class, is where, and value, everybody, no matter whether you're a porn star or you're a radio show host, you should treat everyone with respect. And she obviously chose she was better than that. She was not going to treat everyone she came across. She
always thinks she's better
with respect, right? And so I will say that I don't know this porn star, but I certainly haven't heard any stories where she's belittling someone and making it seem like she's a way better person than them. So I'll give the porn star the.
Is she even on social media? Because I couldn't find
Brit?
No, what's her name?
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Kiara.
There's somebody with the same name. And I saw that someone was like, hey, by the way, you're going to get a
through the roof right now.
Yeah. The person let her know, you're going to get a lot of mentions, and it's not you. Just know that.
But if Jimmy G throws for 35 touchdowns and 7 interceptions this year, none of this matters.
I mean, might as well
none of it really matters right now. I think more it's Britt McHenry just needs to make sure that
She's more the, I think, the villain in the story than she
that she keeps her mouth shut when it comes to judging someone else's life, because she certainly didn't want her life getting judged at its lowest point. Not saying Jimmy G with the porn stars his lowest point.
It's probably his highest.
See, it could be. I don't.
Might be.
Yeah, moving right along. All right, when we come back, we're going to get into work expectations, summer camps, and Lamar Jackson. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Fenders Homes on 1010XL. I just went to the brand new Dream Fenders Homes corporate headquarters last week, and it is beautiful with a 6,000 square foot design center. Dream Fenders Homes' grand opening in Shearwater is giving you a chance to win grand prizes. Lauren Brooks here. Register to win your chance of prizes like a 50-inch smart TV or 2 club seats to the Jaguars-Patriots game. Realtors and Dream Fenders fans alike, all you have to do is visit the grand opening of the Willow Model in Shearwater. Prize registration now only through August 31st. Visit Shearwater today.
Shearwater.
Yeah, they wanted me to combine
Do you know where
2
the
stories in
bathroom
30
is?
seconds. Yeah, absolutely.
It's upstairs.
No, yeah, it's just literally right there and it's right. Yeah, you can't miss it. Oops, sorry, Donna.
That's
Just
all
nailed your
right.
chair.
It's all good.
Buddy from Brucci's. If y'all talk about porn every week, you have a loyal listener.
I called him back and let him know.
I would love to see the search history of her prior to that day and then
Right.
since that day.
Because I tried looking. I'm like, I can't find her on Twitter to see.
And normally they have their own Twitter, or a lot of, well, maybe not Instagram. I think Instagram will ban a lot of that stuff. But Twitter, they'll let you post whatever you want.
But I'm not the brightest bulb when it comes to Twitter, so, but I just kept finding the one girl who has the same name and it's not her. I'm like, you're not her. And I don't want my Google searches to be all of this porn star, just in case anything should happen. And they're like, what was going on with your wife, TJ?
Somebody's checking the 1010 Excel Wi-Fi,
I'm like, oh,
finding out
yeah.
the IP locations.
So funny. But yeah.
3 hot chicks talking porn. Does life get any better? I say it does not.
By the way, my mom has such an accent from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
She'll take away the R's, but then she'll add them when they shouldn't be there. Like I'm Donner.
And whoosh.
We
My grandma says whoosh.
no,
There's no
that's
R.
more like a.
Donner and
She's from
something
Kentucky,
and
so-
Yeah.
and-
I was gonna say
Right?
that's my
Isn't
right
Donner
Donner.
from
Yeah.
the- yeah.
I was always. I'm like, why am I a reindeer in this topic, Mom? So we were driving home from dinner not too long ago. It was just a few years ago. TJ and I, along with my parents,
Okay.
and she's like, "Oh, hey Don, that's the porn shop." I'm like, I'm driving. I go, "What did you say?" She's like, "Yeah,
Pawn shop.
That's the porn shop." I'm like, Ma, put this in a sentence, please, because I don't understand what you're trying to tell Dad right now. You
Pawn
know,
shop.
where you buy stuff. I'm like, still, you gotta clarify. You know, it was so funny. So yeah, she says pawn as porn shop. I'm like, no,
Oh my
Ma, that is you never talk about a pawn shop ever in public, never, because no one will know what you're talking about.
PAWN.
Seriously, we still laugh to this day about it. She'll be like, "Oh, you mean the porn shop?" "Yeah, Mom." Yep.
Luckily, porn shops don't even exist anymore.
I was gonna say I don't even know what a porn shop is. I know like the adult toys. But
Yeah,
what is
that's
a porn
the
shop?
same thing. They sell
Okay.
porn there.
There used to be a
Oh, yeah.
Chinese food place next to my parents' house. It was there for forever. Chan's Chinese food, and they got bought out by a porn shop.
Oh, I thought you were about to say they
Or-
also sold porn. It's like, hell
Go in the
yeah.
back room.
Now that's
Eat some damn good Chinese food at the
Oh,
same
yeah.
Chinese and
time.
porn, man.
kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Oh my God! Speaking of birds and Chinese food, tell me you saw that video that was tweeted out. I think Micah Rappaport tweeted it. It was a Chinese couple like in New York in a park,
Yes.
and like they look like they're feeding birds, but they're stealing the little birds. And you know,
Like the cute little birds.
They're eating them.
Oh, no.
Yes.
And putting them in a plastic
like, if you
bag,
just,
and
like,
they've
peek-
got a few of them in the
yeah,
bag.
if you just like peeked over there, you'd be like, oh, old people feeding birds or whatever. It's like,
So
Is that
disturbing.
illegal?
I mean,
It's a good
I'm
question.
sure it's illegal to serve it as food.
Right, but if they're serving it in their own home,
Then that's fine.
I think it's
I
fine.
mean, I've
That's
eaten raccoon
disturbing.
and gross shit like that.
Is raccoon good?
I mean, it was a little
I'll take
gamey.
that as a
It
no.
was a little gamey.
I don't. And as soon as someone says gamey, like
I don't know what gamey
No.
tastes like though, and I've tried all the weird shit at Clark's, like snake
It
and
means not
kangaroo
good.
and
yeah,
Basically.
I think it means.
But
in
like
my world, it
venison
means
is
a little
amazing.
Yeah,
tough.
venison is
Venison's
really
not
good.
gamey. A little tough, and also
Very tough.
It's got like a funky taste to it
Yes.
that you can't quite place. That's what I would say.
Exactly.
No.
That's what
Gamey.
gamey
If someone
means.
uses gamey, like our friends shoot hogs, and as long as the hog like sausage is ground up and seasoned, I can eat it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the hog, like if you just serve me like hog, like versus like pork butt, like it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do the hog butt. I'm like,
Either way, I wouldn't eat little birds.
That just seems like a lot
the
of work
world.
for not a lot of meat.
All right, here we
bring it
go.
back to the point of the story.
That's a lot of work.
Your chance to win tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel is coming up in just a little bit. But first, let's get it to work expectations.
Which is a good topic since you are technically on
Since I
vacation.
I am absolutely on
Right.
vacation. I had 2 work meetings today. I'm here tonight. But the rest of the week, I have vowed I am not going to work. Now, will I check my emails every single day?
Yes.
Yes. However, I'm not going to actually do any sort of real work until Monday.
Do
That's
you
my goal.
have a out of office set up on your email?
I don't, because I'm in town. And so I feel like it's just as easy to just check my email and write back to people. And I feel like also you get bonus points when you say to someone, well, I'm on vacation, but next week I'll get back to you, or you get back to them and you'll say like, oh yeah, and then I'll get the rest to you next week when I'm back in the
Right.
office, which for us right now, back in the office is a whole nother thing. But I feel like that's a good sign that means you really appreciate that person, and so you're working even when you shouldn't be. All that to say, Philip Howman, Jaguars beat writer, he joined the Times Union before Ryan O'Halloran left, but then he took over the actual beat writer position when Ryan O'Halloran left for Denver. He was getting married on Saturday, the same day as the news we talked about earlier, Dante Fowler Jr. broke. So his boss, I saw on Twitter, tweeted out like, wow, Philip's getting married, and he still managed to be able to tweet this out. I'm super impressed. You know, that's a great job of multitasking. And then I thought to myself, but is that a good thing? Have we gotten to a point where people are expected to work, not necessarily 24/7, but certainly even when they're on vacation, or even when it's their wedding day on a weekend?
Wedding day, I think is a little tricky for the fact of the groom does nothing
Right.
in the morning.
They don't have to do their hair, their
They do
makeup,
nothing.
nails,
Right.
nothing.
Usually it's a game of golf. It's a round of golf. They're just relaxing. They got nothing to do in the morning. So I don't see a giant problem with it. Now, if it was, I think
If he was walking down the aisle while tweeting.
or if it was during, maybe during the rehearsal dinner, or if it was during the reception, that's something different. You don't need to be on your phone at that moment. I can tell you this. Do not attempt to contact me while I am giving birth, because you are going to get a whole different rage monster than what I already can show.
Valid point. He tweeted it
So,
out
no.
Saturday at 6:17 p.m. So,
Damn, how
That
late
would-
was their wedding?
and I don't know that part, but that would lead me to believe that it was probably either right before the ceremony or maybe in between
you-
ceremony and reception.
Can you delay a tweet? Can you set it
Oh,
to
you
go?
can definitely schedule a tweet.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have done that because the news had just broken.
And
I just feel like
can't help you with that one.
his particular job, especially at newspapers, it's sort of jobs for journalists all across the country. They're not necessarily in high demand, but they are diminishing. So the competition that he probably has to deal with in order just to keep his job probably makes him want to post those kind of stories. I personally wouldn't. I love putting on an out of office, and if I do, I will check it still periodically, and I feel like you do get the bonus points whenever you do respond, but I like to set clear boundaries as far as like work life and personal life, because there are times when I want to turn my phone off and I need to recharge, and it's for the betterment of my work and ultimately for the work that I'm doing for my clients. So I feel like it's better for everyone all around. But I'm not a a beat writer, a journalist. That's his job, and that's what he signed up for.
Well, and look at the coverage he's getting because of it.
Sure, absolutely.
Anybody else that tweeted this out, it's like whatever somebody else tweeted it out. But this is your wedding day. Well, let's take an actual look at this, and it's I don't know, it deserves extra talk.
I mean, I applaud it. I don't know that there are jobs that are almost more demanding. I mean, you'll see, and of course there are doctors on call and surgeons in the ER. I get all that. But I mean, as far as this, not life or death type situations, but I mean, if news breaks at 1 a.m., you have to be on top of that. So you have to have a way to be able to manage that and your personal life, especially when it's in season. I mean, this obviously is off season, but season, at least the training camp's about to start. But you have to at all times be aware of what's going on. That's a lot of pressure. I wouldn't want that kind of pressure. Like, even the emails I'm responding to, none of them are time sensitive for the most part, right? Like, if someone needs to change a commercial that's running on our air, it usually is not, it has to be changed today or else the company's going to, have a hissy fit or go bankrupt because of the commercial. But just curious if the constant communication is a good thing or a bad thing. Several Jaguars players host football camps for kids during the summer. Telvin Smith had one today, as a matter of fact. Several other Jaguars players were there to support him. If you hosted a summer activity camp for a kid, what would it be?
Easy, dance. I mean, that's easy. Because I can't kick him out at summer camp,
At any Sam's Club near you.
At any Sam's Club near you, man.
Just bring a tip jar with you.
That would be easy. We were, I'm big into watching So You Think You Can Dance. I watch it every week. I love it so much. And little dude was watching with it. We were watching as a family last night, and it was just the last females dancing. And then it comes to the part where they pick they have a 10, they have to break it down to a 5. And I knew, I'm like, it's going to be this one, this one, this one. He's like, how do you know this already? I'm like, aw, your mommy's good at this. I know who's talented. I know who's got it. And I was right. And I picked them all. And it's just great. Dance is so much fun to me. I love it because you can express yourself in so many different ways, and it doesn't matter if you're good or talented or just having fun. So that to me would be my activity.
Summer will be in dance.
Well, I'm not gonna force it. If anybody should be in dance, it should be JT because he's a little entertainer. So she's probably gonna be shy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I would probably do a coding camp, just because those jobs are in such high demand. I saw Dwayne Smoot, he hosted a coding camp for kids at the Microsoft store at the town center recently, and I thought that was really awesome because he's like a YouTuber, and so he's really into like documenting his life, and I thought that was awesome to be able to show kids. I know a lot of kids want to be YouTube stars and Instagram famous and all that good stuff, but teaching them the behind the scenes of how these applications are made and the coding aspect behind it. I mean, companies and people are always going to need websites, and to teach those kids that there is a career path of high demand in these different fields. That's what I would focus on.
How old would the kids need to be to attend something like that and really understand what's going on?
You'd be surprised how young these kids are. My friend's 3-year-old at 3 years old, he knew how to take the iPhone, unlock it, go to YouTube, search for the videos that he wants, and then start watching it on a loop.
I guess Ryan's toy reviews.
It's so many different things that these kids know how to do that I never knew. I mean, the technology wasn't there at my age, and so being able to see a lot of these kids grasp technology so quickly, I think that you'd be surprised at how early they can start.
That's actually pretty good. You mentioned Instagram. I gotta ask a question. I know it's off topic. What the hell is considered an Instagram model? Like, do you get paid for that? What is that?
Well, Instagram model / influencer, yeah, you can definitely get paid for a lot of that different stuff. And they can work in trade, too. So you can get, like, travel deals, food deals, fitness, teas, and all that good stuff.
Like how? Just having followers?
Yeah. No, they're like really hot girls that have lots of followers. But then in their pictures, they're like, oh, I'm drinking this new hemp tea or whatever the hell it is.
Okay.
And
So it's
they're getting
product
paid by that.
placement.
Right.
Yeah.
And they also get paid for it too. Some of these Instagram models are getting paid a lot of money, and not just Instagram models, influencers too.
That's what, because I always hear that phrase, oh, she's an Instagram model. The hell is that?
Well, and I don't know enough to know. I would assume that she's a model outside of just Instagram. Like maybe she started modeling, at her local agency and then kind of moved up.
Right.
And when she started to gain more and more followers, then she decided, oh, well, I may as well do this solely through Instagram versus, going to this agency all the time and trying to land.
Most
different
likely it
deals.
means she's just unemployed.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised though. Shout out to the North Florida influencers. They're out there. It's a growing trend as far as influencer marketing, because you get to sell a lot, or businesses earn a lot more money when they advertise with a person versus advertising, just traditional like banner ads or
Right.
Buying Facebook ads or something like that. I think that I heard a rate that if a company spends if a company spends advertising with you, they're only spending $1, but they're earning $7 for every dollar that they spend with you as an influencer, because you're personally recommending a brand and people trust that.
And I guess to me, there's a difference between the influencers, which I always call bloggers, like the
Okay.
fashion models. I guess models almost is the wrong term. The women that I look at, who I like the way they dress, and then of course they tag all the places of the clothes that they buy from, and then of course those places want them to shop there, and they recommend those things. I think of that as different. I call them fashion bloggers. I think of that as different than an Instagram model. I'm not looking to find pictures of any woman in her bathing suit or underwear or workout clothes. That's just not
Right.
what I'm going after. I think there are males that are going after that, but I'm much
Or
more
there
looking
could be
at,
other females.
Sure, absolutely. I'm just
There's beauty too. Beauty's a huge one. Beauty and fashion are probably the
Yeah.
most as far as like influencers are concerned. But there's a huge market out there for every other type of influencers. Like I said, this was a phrase that people didn't know of 2 years ago. Now they're starting to know about it, and companies are starting to spend money.
Yeah, as far as the camp goes, it would have to be like an entire activity camp. Swimming, horseback riding, learning to play different games that, cannot kind of entertain yourself if let's say like no other kids are around. Just all the different stuff that I feel like when you get out of high school you stop doing almost.
Yeah.
And you think back and you're like, oh, those days were so fun. I remember summer camp, whether it be like a Bible camp that had activities or whether it just be a strict summer camp in North Carolina that had
I
so
never
much
had
fun
a summer
stuff.
camp.
What?
I didn't either.
I had dance.
We did. Well, I did soccer camps. I did them 3 different years. One at UCF, one at Florida, and one at Florida State. And we went for my entire soccer team. We went for 2 weeks at each one, and it was like a summer camp, other than you were working really hard, practicing multiple times per day and all that stuff.
Right.
But we got to stay in the dorms at each of the 3 schools. And it actually kind of helped me decide. Like, I already thought I wanted to go to Florida all along, right? My parents went there. I'd been going to Gainesville every year. But then when I saw the different dorms for each one, the facilities for athletics, I was like, okay, I definitely want to go here. I've been through each program, and I knew I wasn't actually going to play soccer in college, but I wanted to experience all 3. But those were really fun. But I remember stories of people who would go away to like the mountains for 2 weeks, and that's all they would do is just have so much fun and try different stuff. And almost, this is a completely different one, but almost a culinary camp too, like for kids who have no idea that they will eventually be interested in food and don't know what to cook or how to cook, and they're almost intimidated by the whole process because either they see their parents are so good at it or their parents get really stressed out by it and they decide they don't want to do it. I was not in either of those. My parents eventually became really good at it, but they had no interest in it growing up.
Can we do a culinary camp for adults?
But I know.
I used to have an easy bake oven. That's how I learned.
There's people that work here that could use that.
Yeah.
By the way, at these children camps, you got to watch out for hand and mouth and foot disease.
I know.
Very good point.
Do they still make easy bake ovens?
Poor Mets, man.
They certainly don't sell them at Toys R Us if they do make them.
All right.
Which ones?
Easy bake ovens. That's what I used as a kid to learn how to cook.
Amazon, probably. Amazon.
Like the modern ones now.
Googling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
as
feel
we
like
speak.
the ones that
Yes, they
my
still make
sister
them.
used are probably a little bit too dangerous. for the
Right,
kids
that's probably the
nowadays.
same one
Like,
I
they're pretty
used.
hardcore.
They almost look like, nowadays, they almost look like if you've ever had a personal gel lamp, or not even personal, like if you go to the salon and they do your gel
Yes.
nails and you put your fingers underneath
Yep.
that thing, like that UV light or whatever it is, that's what these newer.
I hated
bake
having to
ovens look
share.
like.
If you had a sleepover and then you make the easy bake oven, it's like the size of your hand
Are
is
you
the
the
little
only
treat
child?
you get. No.
Oh, okay.
But I would have all these packs of food, and we would have a sleepover, and then you'd have to share with everybody, and you only get a little piece. It would take forever for it to cook. Forget it. I'll do it by myself.
I had the ones that were like slime.
I had that
and, like,
too. The bugs.
spiders. Yes.
What was that called?
I don't know, but it was
I
very
forget.
90s.
I had that too.
Bugs something.
But you could eat them. It was amazing.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. All right. When we come back, we're going to
We'll figure it out.
Ashlyn Sullivan, digital reporter and host for Jaguars.com. We're going to give away tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel and a whole lot more. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Fenders Homes on 1010XL.
That's
Oh, we
funny.
still
Creepy
didn't get
crawlers.
to-
Yes.
Creepy crawlers.
Yes.
I knew it was bugs. We didn't get to Brady's body shaming
Oh, we got
Because that was
plenty.
like the boy.
or the Ravens.
Easy bake
so
oven.
After,
And I was like, I still want
what's
it.
her
Brady's
face?
body
Ashlyn will
shaming.
get to,
I like
what's
that.
her face?
Brady's dad bod
Dude,
shaming.
man, they
Yeah.
went nuts.
People were
with
going
it.
after
Besides,
him.
I didn't plan an answer to my Tiger Woods question, so I don't want to do it
Okay.
right now anyway.
Malik Jackson,
I
was
didn't
he
have
the
a
one that
time.
was on TMZ making fun of Tom Brady? Was
I
he the
don't-
one that said they were going to go 16-0?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
He
was
also
Malik.
was making fun of Brady in that same video.
I mean, I get it. You know, there's.
I mean,
It's not
dude,
like
what does the
Malik
guy
is
have to do besides...
shredded.
Like,
Just
who
sitting there.
cares what
He's
he looks
kissing
like?
his model wife.
At least
What,
he
would it
wasn't
kill him to
kissing
do
his
push-ups a few
dad
times
in
a
the
week?
mouth. He's
I
41!
don't know.
Like,
That-
I just think about my dad when he was 41. I'm like, dude,
My
that
dad
guy
is
looks
fat.
way better than my dad used to. Like, that guy...
I mean, it just wouldn't kill him. As healthy as he is, it's all the,
He doesn't believe in any of the strength training.
Which is good
But
because...
push-ups. Push-ups. What's wrong with push-ups?
Hey, whatever he's doing, keep doing it.
Right.
No,
he,
fuck him.
he doesn't believe
Stop
in any of
doing
that.
Well, yeah, that, but exactly.
Just stretching and massaging
And drinking water.
and drinking lots
Hella
of water.
No suntans.
No, apparently. Well,
That's the most
sunburns.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
The people that say
oh,
the
that,
Earth
yeah.
is flat, I sort of have more respect for them than the people who say
Yeah, more respect
water
for Kyrie than
stops
that.
sunburns.
Kyrie.
Look
Maybe
at
he
this,
just
by the way.
misspoke when he
Have
said
you ever
that.
seen someone use the phrase pass phrase? Whoever typed this up
No.
needs to be
Nope,
checked.
passphrase.
They're either European or like mentally unstable.
I would not have
Like, oh,
noticed that.
and-
Passphrase.
Over in jolly England, we use passphrase.
And
Then I'd be like, all right,
Could be a
Okay.
British person.
yeah,
Passphrase.
that's acceptable.
You're
They use
funny.
all kinds of stuff there.
have ordered cupcakes.
We gotta order cupcakes for.
Today. I'm hosting that bridal shower on Saturday.
Is your eye okay?
Sounds terrible.
I haven't figured out what's wrong with it. It's the eye where I wear
Yeah.
contact, and the last couple weeks it's been red, and then
Has it been itchy or is it just
no,
red?
and then I'll change
Okay.
contacts. I'll be like, oh, that one's bad. I just need a different contact, and then it happens again. And so I need
Okay.
to. That's another thing I need to deal with. But
Sorry.
no, you're good. My cousin's husband, who was my eye doctor, is in between places right now, and so I
Okay.
don't know. So anyway, I gotta figure it out though. That's a
wanna make
thing on
sure.
my list. Yeah, thank you. It doesn't hurt, but it does get dry. So I put drops in it, and still nothing.
Just make sure you don't have the hand.
Hey,
foot
Ashley?
mouth.
I do not have because
This is
you
JJ
can
over at
tell
1010.
because
How are
it's
you?
only this eye and without the contact.
good.
So maybe it
We
has a
got
scratch or
about 2
something,
minutes. I'll put you through right now.
But I need to.
Have you ever seen hand, foot, and mouth?
No.
JT had it when he was a baby. I noticed it.
Oh God.
When I saw his hands, I'm like, what is all over your hands? And there's dots.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, let me see your feet. So I look at the bottom of his feet and they're all dots. I'm like,
Is that
Ants?
what it actually looks like?
yeah, it's just you.
I
like
see.
you
I just
dots.
thought it was he just got like a virus from kids, but they made it sound like it's a.
What is
Yeah.
hand, foot, and mouth?
It's just
When you
yeah.
hang
Is it a
around
bite?
kids, they're
Viral.
nasty.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
exactly what it is.
You're not sick though. That's what's funny.
Oh,
Is
really?
this the
Yeah.
like almost like goosebumps?
Well, how do you
almost
know
like
you have?
chicken pox.
Oh, you see it.
Yeah, you see, it's dots.
Oh, that's.
I mean,
Goosebumps
some
is
people
not a
get sick,
disease.
but it's just very contagious. Like pink eye. Don't be around it.
Oh,
you
no.
know.
I don't have pink eye.
Right. So, but
It's
yeah.
just my one eye.
You ever had chicken pox?
Yes.
Like as an adult?
I have
No, as a kid, so I didn't
Yeah,
ever
I
have
had
to have
my
them
parents
again. I
like
had a scar.
forced me to give them to my little brother when I was a kid. So we would both have them at the same time.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
See, I had them, but I only had like 2 or 3, so my parents always
That's
thought I would
smart.
get them again.
Oh, they're
That's actually very smart by your parents.
by then they were like veterans.
Yeah. That's I like that one.
Yeah, feel free to steal that.
Right. JT hasn't gotten that yet, but he goes to kindergarten this
But
fall.
apparently,
so
if you get it as an adult, you're like,
What school is it going to again?
Bartram. Yeah, because you had like how much? Just talking about it makes
imagine
me
being
itch.
like, I can't come into work this week. I have chicken pox. I'd be like, you know what? Never come back to work.
No, for real.
Life
I'm
decisions
sending you a
cannot be
photo.
trusted.
Yeah, I don't even know what's up with you, man.
That's why I laughed so hard when Hicken tweeted that out about
What did he
his
say?
Mets.
Oh,
Just like,
about
for
the
real?
hand and mouth
Yeah.
thing. It's such a mess.
I'm like, dude, your team is so screwed, man.
Yeah, every year it's like a joke.
That's funny.
All right, here we go. Ashlyn's on the line.
Hand, foot, and mouth.
Where'd y'all park at? Okay.
Front.
I got
you
my
park in
little
the back?
spot. Yeah. I'm in the back. I come around like right up here. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. See, I come in from over
Walk
here.
past the people from the gym so you get to people getting in there.
Pumping iron.
All right, here we go.
Donna Murphy, Blad Brumley, Lauren Brooks alongside producer JJ LaSelva, who is going to be responsible for tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel Song giveaway. But before we get to that, Ashlyn Sullivan, Jaguars.com digital reporter and host, joins us now. Hey, Ashlyn, how are you? We are fantastic, thanks, and we are so excited that the phone is working here in our temporary studio so that you can join us by phone. It is a treat to get to talk to you tonight. We weren't sure if it was going to work, but now that we have you. Yeah, so there's nothing going on until August, but then what happens in the first week of August at Daly's Place?
And we're just coming off a week where there was 2 big announcements, right? Man, I don't know what I'm more excited and interested to hear. It wasn't me or Every Breath You Take. I don't know which collaboration version would be better.
The Jacksonville legend Leonard Skinner was actually at TIAA Bank Field last week. Tell us a little bit about that visit.
Yeah, that was exciting. I was really impressed with Carson Tinker's guitar skills, actually. I did not know that he was that good. Yeah, I think I'd be nervous too, playing with legends. By the way, I wonder if Carson and Annie, his wife, are excited about Darius Rucker coming to town, considering they named their son Hootie. Yeah, I can imagine that. All right, and so the country concert's coming up. We just talked about Darius Rucker, also Brett Eldridge and Dierks Bentley in September. How are the tickets going for those country shows? That's good news for people like me. All right, Ashlyn, final question. As the Jaguars begin training camp this week, what are you looking for? All right, sounds good. Well, we will see you out at training camp this week. Thanks so much, Ashlyn. All right, Ashlyn Sullivan, Jaguars.com digital reporter and host. Training camp starts on Thursday from 10:30 till 1, and then also on Friday 10:30 till 1. Fans, if you want to go, head to jaguars.com/training camp. And then Saturday night is Under the Lights. I believe it's 6 to 8:30 that you can also attend. All right, JJ, are you ready for tonight's Peterbrooke Chocolate Heel giveaway? I'll take that as a yes.
I would lose.
I would not win. I would have already won.
I would so not win.
Well, he's about to sing.
This actually isn't the version where
Oh, just kidding. I could sing, but
Lies.
that's not going to help anybody. All right, well, I like it. A little tricky tonight there from JJ.
Oh, there's going to be tons of people in Jacksonville that know this
Yeah, you're
song.
right.
Come on.
If you want to win tonight's Peterbrooke Chocolate Heel, text into the 1010XL text line driven by Duval Ford either the name of the song or the name of the artist. And I'll give you a little hint. That artist is coming to Daly's Place in the next few months. 641-1010. We may be in a temporary studio, but the text line still works.
But you cannot go to our 1010XL station and pick up the heel, so you're just going to have to be patient.
Just wait
patient.
until...
That's the voice of someone who's answered a lot of emails.
Just wait until the week of August 6th. We
Yes.
are hoping to be back at main headquarters, so to speak.
Correct.
All right, Donna, your favorite quarterback, Tom Brady.
I just brought up that story because I figured you'd want to go there. Body shaved, man, for his dad bod. He was body shaved.
He was on the beach with Giselle. Where were they? What beach?
That's a really good question.
Wasn't it out in Cali?
It can't be anywhere overseas.
It wasn't Jack's Beach.
It wasn't Jack's Beach.
If he was in Jack's
it's a
Beach,
very good
Donna would
question.
have been there.
It's a very good question. Not too
Well,
sure.
with a
but
lot of Jaguar fans.
either way, so yeah, a lot of people got onto him. And you know what? Now that I look at one photo, his arms aren't that bad.
Oh my god.
His arms really aren't that bad.
He could say it as
This photo, his arms aren't that bad because you can see the definition. But look, yes, he is not one that strength trains. He is absolutely against
But it wouldn't kill him to do some push-ups.
But that's what I'm saying. His arms aren't that bad.
But the push-ups help your chest too.
It's everything.
The chest
else.
is the problem.
So he doesn't believe in it. He's very big into the stretching and the massage and all that. The problem I take away from this is the bathing suit. What bathing suit is that?
Costa Rica, by the way.
Can I say?
Oh, okay. I figured it was.
I
for
like the
US.
little shorts. I'm on team little shorts.
Are you really?
Absolutely.
It doesn't even look like a bathing suit. It just looks like what my dad used to wear to work back in the day.
But the little shorts are making a comeback. We talked about this like a couple months ago on the show.
That's
short
more.
shorts.
That's what I got a problem with.
They look like what I call what frat guys wear. That's what.
And
they
European, a lot of Europeans wear them,
are.
along with
Europeans wear
Speedos
even,
too.
Yeah, I was gonna say even smaller bathing suit bottoms. I like this person said. I don't know how anybody that's not a Patriots fan could try to use this picture to roast Patriots fans. If you think that's not up to par for the NFL body, shouldn't you be embarrassed he dismantles your team every week?
Yep.
Not to mention he's kissing a model worth $350 million and more.
Whatever, do some
It
push-ups.
was funny.
Do some push-ups.
I think
Let me have something to pick on him about.
I mean, I think he looks fine. I don't think he looks like a prototypical NFL quarterback. But then again, I haven't seen Aaron Rodgers shirtless recently when he was on the Shark Week video last night,
Right.
he was in a wetsuit. So I would like to compare him to other active quarterbacks. Like, I bet Drew Brees looks kind of like this.
I just feel like it's
True.
nearly impossible for somebody who works out that much and diets that strenuously to look like that.
But he
He's
doesn't.
40 years old.
He doesn't work
You're
out.
underestimating what
Again.
40 years can do to a man's body.
Diet and football practice,
Still.
and you don't have a little bit of a chest? That's
Father
a bird
time,
chest.
man. Father time.
That is a bird chest.
But I mean, that goes back to he knows what's best for his body, and the more muscle you build up, the less flexibility you have and less elasticity you have in your muscles.
All it takes is 20 push-ups 3 times a
Man,
week.
Giselle's still there loving him just as much as
No,
ever.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
whatever.
matter.
But I
He
mean,
doesn't
I'm
care.
just saying, I think he knows what's best for his throwing motion
Definitely.
and what's best for him to bounce back if he ever does get sacked. And that's where, either
There's
way,
a lot
I
of
don't think he
excuses for
looks
not
bad.
doing push-ups.
He might do push-ups.
Take 5 minutes to do it.
I don't
If
think
Brady
he looks bad.
tears his shoulder doing a push-up or something,
Right.
imagine the outcry.
Oh, that would be bad.
I enjoy the one not expecting my superhero to look like me. You know,
Exactly. When I saw it, I was like, man, he's looking good.
it is. It's a dad bod. It's very relatable. It's funny.
I think most dads would honestly sign up for
They
that
would.
body.
Hell yeah.
I don't think that most men with, what does he have, 2 kids or 3 kids?
3.
Not that he birthed them, but I think most men in their 40s with multiple kids, I
Right.
think they would sign on the dotted line for that body.
For playing in the NFL for that long, I mean,
I don't know. It's
it
so
could've
easy
worn
for
you down.
guys to stay in shape and to eat a lot of the things that they want if they just work out 2-3 times. It doesn't take much.
that's
it really
what-
doesn't.
that's the point of this. That's his TB12 method. He doesn't. There's no exercise
He's not putting that
regimen with
extra,
this.
you know.
Yeah.
No, he's just drinking water to avoid sunburns. That's all. Witchcraft.
I know you hate him.
And winning mad
You would have
rings.
body shamed him if you could.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Every chance I get, I'm going to shame that man.
But like JJ said, he's sitting there with, Giselle.
A beautiful model, kissing right on him.
Whatever. I hate this man.
With all
She
his
loves
rings.
his
What does
dad
it
bod.
matter?
Do some push-ups.
I honestly will say, like, I thought she would look, I think she looks worse for what I expected.
Oh my
than
God.
he, and I'm
Listen
not
to
saying she
y'all.
looks bad, but I don't see, like,
She's
oh
always
my
been
gosh,
very
she's
skinny. Like
yeah.
she's more of
She's
a
thin, but she's not like smoking hot in these pictures.
Yeah,
she
she's
is smoking hot in
What do they
jeans.
call
very
it? Skinny
natural.
fat.
yeah, she's more of like a model that would model clothes than like a swimsuit. I don't know why she became like a swimsuit model, but I think
She's
still
a
beautiful,
natural
and
beauty.
she's also like 40 years old. You
Yeah,
guys
no.
are haters.
And I'm not shaming
Don't
her by
look at
any
me, I'm
means.
not
She looks
hating
great, but for what you like, if you were to look up Giselle in a magazine and compare it to this picture, you'd be like, oh, that's not what she looks
Well,
like when
that's a-
she's in Victoria's
That's what a
Secret.
tan and a push-up bra.
And that's the thing. The
And-
push up
tan.
and push
Whatever the hell
together.
they do to those pictures in the magazines.
The airbrush.
Yeah, but she's also Brazilian, so I guess I also expect her to be tanner than as pale as she is in these pictures.
They live in Massachusetts. You're not gonna be tan.
Well, they're in Costa Rica this week, and they've been. Where else did they go on vacation? We talked about it a couple months ago.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm
Probably
having to
Hawaii
stick
or
up for the
something.
Bradys, but I am.
I can't believe you
The
are
dad
either.
bod.
All right, when we come back, we're going to get it to dating and cake pranking, because dating can lead to cake pranking. What am I talking about? You will find out. That is next on Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL. Yeah, I think she should look better than that.
I think they both should.
Well, she's not working anymore, so
She's done?
yeah, she retired.
Why was this on my
It's sort
left
of
side?
like when you get a
First
certain
part.
age in that industry, I think you're sort of forced into retirement. It's
Right.
like worse than the NFL.
Although she still makes how much money a year?
Does she?
Mm-hmm.
Doing what?
Just
She
endorsements?
endorses probably.
Just being rich.
It's
Let's
ridiculous.
see how old she is.
She's 38.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
3 kids coming out of that body?
Now she only has 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
She
right.
has 2.
Not that a third kid is going
Right.
to change your body, whereas 2 wouldn't.
And one stepchild.
You never even hear about Bridget Moynihan at all.
Nope.
Like,
Who's
whatever
that?
happened to her career? That was who
That's-
Tom Brady was dating
yeah.
at first.
Oh.
Remember when he used to date Tara Reid?
No.
No.
I used to be in love with Tara Reid when I was a kid, man.
Like when the American Pie movies were out?
That
Wasn't Carson
and-
Daly with her
What was
forever?
the other one that she was like an actual star in? The American Pie when there was hotter girls than that and her.
Oh, Natasha.
She once had a
She was
surprise fling with Tom Brady. She admitted it in 2014.
What's the one
Did
about the
he
guy who
admit it?
stays at college for like?
Why would he
older
admit it?
bandwagon?
She's a train wreck
2000.
now.
Oh, she admitted it.
She admitted it in 2014.
Right. When did that happen though?
Damn, Bridget Moynihan was way older than him. She's 47 now.
She's only 5 years older than him.
Yeah.
7.
He's 40. He'll be like 40.
Two, I think.
Yeah, he'll be
He's gonna be
42.
Yikes. Tara Reid is not.
I almost just Googled Tommy Brady and said Tom Brady.
Twommy.
Tell me that.
Tommy.
That's how I know.
Cheer, Mike.
Oh, yeah. He'll be 41 in
Yeah.
like 2 weeks.
Just though, but for a
2002.
guy to date an older girl is more, I would say, different.
Yeah.
I mean, I've dated plenty of younger girls, but I've only dated one older girl.
How old are you?
28.
You wouldn't date an older girl?
I would. I said I have.
Oh.
But only one. I'm just saying compared to like younger girls, I've been with way more younger girls than older girls.
Because my boyfriend's 29 and I'm 34.
Okay. So, yeah, I dated a 32-year-old like a year ago. But,
I feel like it's all where you're at mentally.
well, there's plenty of girls in their 30s that are mentally in their 18s. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Demi Lovato reportedly hospitalized for heroin overdose.
Heroin.
Oh,
That's wild.
She doesn't seem like she would be one.
I couldn't pick her out of a lineup.
Me
If
neither,
you gave
really.
me Demi Lovato and who's the girl that Bieber dated for a while?
Selena Gomez.
Selena
Oh,
Gomez.
I know her. She's beautiful. I'm assuming Demi is too, but
Yeah.
I like the other one who dates the guy who looks like Christian Yelich.
You're gonna have to
Pete
give me more than
Davidson,
that.
Pete
Christian Yelich is a
Davidson.
baseball player.
Ariana.
Ariana
yeah,
Grande.
yeah. They're
She's
engaged.
beautiful.
That is.
I
such
always
an
feel like she
awkward
looks
match.
16,
I
but
don't
he's funny.
really know him.
That's what he's funny.
The only
That's
thing
what
I
it
know
is.
about him is
But I
that
don't think he's that funny.
no, neither
No.
do I. I've seen him on SNL, and I was like, but I don't really like SNL in general.
Yeah.
It's like an awkward, like, I guess I should laugh at that kind of funny. Like,
I haven't watched SNL in years.
Yeah, he's not that funny.
She's like,
She's pretty.
I don't know where she came from.
She's got
but
a
she
lot of
does.
different.
Like, Colin
She loves her
Yost
hair
is
up
goofy
high.
looking, and he's
Who?
with Colin Yost.
Don't know him.
Well, he's the one that's with, or Jost, however you pronounce it. He's the one that's with Scarlett Johansson.
Ooh.
Now,
The
he's
lucky
funny,
man.
though. He's actually, him I laugh at, on SNL.
Scarlett, you don't really hear about her.
No.
Like,
She just pulled out
yeah,
of a
like,
movie.
is she old now or something?
She's always in the
She might be
Avengers.
like 36,
oh yeah,
37.
she's just making cash.
Yeah. Sitting back.
They're about
When
to
you're
have a
in that
Black Widow
comic
movie.
book world, you're just like,
She's only 33.
ScarJo,
all you do is count money all day.
right?
It's like
I don't
Scrooge
have time
McDuck
to be
diving
getting
into a
pictures-
pile of money.
Paparazzi stopped Justin Bieber, who's like my favorite dude ever. Obviously he's way
Wait,
younger than me or whatever,
you
so
That's
I've
real?
never like listened to his music ever. And when
Okay.
I was, an adult, he was still on YouTube.
Mhm.
So I don't really have that like hate or vitriol for him like younger people do.
Okay.
So I thought he's like become kind of cool lately, and especially after I saw this video of him being filmed by paparazzi the other day. He walks up to him and he goes, "Man, you are way too normal for this job. What are you doing?" And I was just like, "Beebs is rad, man. I've never
That's
seen
actually kinda
somebody
funny.
put down the paparazzi like that."
You're way too normal.
The guy had nothing to say. He was just like, "Damn, maybe I am."
Yeah, I kind of wouldn't want to meet anybody that's a member of the paparazzi.
They
It just,
Things you have to do in order to
Imagine
get the
just walking
shot.
down the street and they're just yelling things at you.
I mean, you're essentially
Yeah,
a
I'm
stalker.
good.
That's all you
Yeah,
are.
I'm good on that. I'm good.
Bold City after this break,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
60
I'm ready.
seconds.
Sounds good. Thank you.
.com.
We are almost done.
What is that? Bold City.
A chiropractor.
Okay. Mm-mm. Oh, did you watch Tiger this weekend?
I watched some. We were
Oh.
out of town. Scouting.
Sunday, it was like
It was
it
on.
was
man.
lit.
I
It
did
was
see Twitter going
crazy.
off.
Everybody I knew was like, "Holy shit! Are you watching this? He's back!"
Welcome back to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. Dating. We talked about a lot of dating in the break just now, so I figured why not?
Celebs and their
Let's
dating.
Who's dating who, whatnot. I saw this on Twitter over the weekend, right? I think so. I sent
Sounds right.
sent it to you. It's just some random person that popped up on my thread, timeline, whatever. And she asked a question made a statement. If you aren't dating for marriage, then you're doing it all wrong. And so I said, all right, well, that's a good question. I don't, it's not really a question, but it's more of a statement. So then, don't go on her page. Did you go on her page?
No. Yeah, because it's questionable.
Yeah, it's very questionable. And I'm like,
don't face in the Abbey, 90% selfies.
I don't understand how this actually legit statement came from all of that garbage that's within her self. So, but I found it interesting. I'm like, well, okay, let's pose that question. Because I, right now, am the only one married in this room. So, if you're dating...
Are you guys hearing music?
Yeah, out there.
Ah, out there, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I was starting to think
there is a gym out there.
Losing my mind. Got it.
So what are your thoughts on that one? If you're not dating, is there an age, I guess? Obviously not in your teens, I would suspect. But if you're not dating for marriage, do you think you're doing it all wrong?
No, I think you're dating to figure out what you like. And what you like at a certain age might be different than another age. And when it comes to relationships and dating, mind your damn business. That's how I feel like. Nobody else's business.
Lauren?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what your end goal is. If your end goal is not marriage, then why would someone begin? You. Right. And why would someone, not you, be able to look over and say, well, I'm going to dictate the rules of your life? I know people who have decided they don't want to get married. So their dating is going to look a lot different than somebody who is looking for that, that person to spend the rest of their life with. But if you are wanting to get married, then yeah, I think the way you approach dating, at least you should be honest and upfront with it with the other person. If that person is like, hey, I am, looking for wife, 2 kids, the dog, the fence, the whole shebang, like, and they let that person know right away.
That's scary, though.
But there's so many steps to take before. But I mean, all of that.
There are people that like, they go on the first date, and in their mind, it is this the person?
I guarantee that chick is single. I guarantee it. Because if you approach every date like that, you're going to scare a lot of people off. Sure. And you're not going to figure out what you like in a relationship, and it's not going to give you enough time to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
But I think as far as like the communication has to exist, that what are you looking for? Are you looking to date and just have fun? Are you looking to date potentially long term? We'll see where it goes. Or, are you someone who, this is a one night, I don't care if I get your phone number. Like, I just think there needs to be some sort of communication, which I think most people fall in the middle. It's, yeah, I'm looking to see if I have fun with you, if we're compatible.
Yeah, you feel it out. You don't lay your cards on the table on the very first date. And you feel it out for what, like I said, what works best for you.
Sure, yeah. No, I agree. I just think there are people that are both extremes, and that, obviously that's mixing oil and water. If it's the guy who is hell-bent on getting married right away and the girl who's like, look, I'm just looking to have fun, then I think that's where that conversation just needs to happen, so that the guy doesn't fall in love with this chick who's like, hey, I'm not interested in a long term. You're making a face.
Oh, I've had that conversation before.
Well, so then how far along did you get in the dating process before you said, well, I'm not interested
it took me a couple months to be like, he's not really right for me. And
but you would stay and continue dating him?
But I probably didn't handle it in the best way. I could definitely say that, because we were definitely riding bikes. And he mentioned something about telling his mom about me, and I said, oh no, we gotta have a talk when we get back to the house. And he looked back really quick, because we were riding bikes and he's in front of me, and he looked back really quick, and it was a look enough to make me crash my bike, kind of. And I ended up like the tailpipe of a truck hit my leg, and I had a huge bruise on my leg for a very long time. But yeah, I guess I had to end it that day. Sorry. Sorry.
I find that interesting. I like it.
Well, yeah, that's where I feel like, though, for the most part, people, at least in theory, or ideally, and maybe I should say, are on the same page. Like, you start off and if you enjoy each other, right, yeah, then you go on a couple more dates. But at some point, the conversation has to come up of all the serious stuff, and that's, I think, the question of, how long do you go in the dating parameters?
Oh, it's
before
so
you
different.
Get to that serious conversation of the religion, of the the things that you really want long term. Some people don't want kids; they absolutely want to get married. They don't want kids. Will that change? And some people think, well, I can change that person if they just if they just
project.
Learn. Yeah, and so. All of that stuff, I think, is extremely tricky. JJ, you're the only guy here. You're a resident male expert. What would you say as far as, like, should you at least have marriage in mind when you go on dates with someone?
I would say if you're, like, 35, yes.
You sad,
because then you're just wasting everybody's time. Sorry. I mean, I'm 28, so I don't really look at it like that. But in the back of my mind, even right now, I'm like, I'm kind of taking a long time with this.
But would you go on a date with someone, I guess here's a better question. Would you go on a date with someone that you know for sure you're never going to marry?
Definitely. I do it all the time.
Okay, and why?
Because sometimes you just need a girl in your life,
Yeah.
And then at what point does she figure out that, like, it's not going anywhere?
Honestly, in my relationships, those things don't really come up too much. The whole, like, you have to be with someone for
a while.
At least a year, I would say, to start talking about marriage seriously. And
unless you're 35, then
then it's like first date. What are we doing here? Are you gonna pop out these kids or what? Let's go. No, just joking, but only sort of. But yeah, I'm too young to even be thinking about that. Asking a younger guy, it's sort of different.
But if you found a girl where all of a sudden you were like, wow, my eyes have been opened, this chick is awesome.
I've been there.
Okay. What happened?
Well, obviously we're not together. But yeah, I mean, I've been in relationships where you think, maybe one day down the line this could be more serious, but no, not right now.
Like, do you have an idea where I'm not getting married before I'm a certain age?
No, I all that I'm open to. If I meet somebody tomorrow and they're just so amazing that I have to, like, stop everything I'm doing and devote my life to her, I highly doubt that's going to happen, but I'm ready. I'm open. That's not really how my mind works.
It's different for every person, every single person you date. I feel like it changes even, as you get older. It's like the old saying goes, every single relationship ends through a death or divorce, and you have to be ready to approach a relationship. It's true. But you have to be ready to approach each situation on a case-by-case basis. There's no just set rules.
Well, say the ones that do get married, would you play a prank on your groom like this LSU bride did?
That's a real quick way to get divorced.
So what happened exactly?
So the LSU bride had her groom's cake made, and he is a Bama groom. So the outside of the cake is decorated with a giant A, giant symbol for Alabama, red and white. And then he cut into it, and then it was LSU colors once he cut into it.
Oh, that's funny.
And he's talking crap the whole time about how, we just win championships. And then he cuts open the cake, and he won't even look at it. The bride has to go in there and get the rest of it.
I thought it was hilarious.
It is pretty funny.
But I feel like Lauren would not think that would be funny, especially
I would not.
No.
If I was the groom. I would, because it's the groom's cake. Like, that's the one thing of this whole giant extravaganza that's going on. That's the groom's. And, like, if you ever watch Steel Magnolias, the one groom, Julia Roberts' husband in the movie, gets an armadillo cake, like, because they're real southern, and he shoots armadillos, and so he gets an armadillo cake. Not that you could really prank him on that, but regardless, like, it means a lot to the groom, and I think here the bride gets everything she wants, and the one thing that he wants, he cuts into it, and it's maybe not arch rival, because Auburn's the arch rival, but it's a rival's colors, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to love you forever, and now you're pranking me? Like, what's next?
I mean, people, like, first of all, the whole decorating cake thing is weird in general, because it's like, if you like something, do you want to be cutting into? I remember my dad was, like, leaving a place he worked at for a really long time, and they had all us there, and it was like a big thing, and they had a cake for him, and his face was on the cake. And I'm like, we're cutting it. This is weird. So cakes in general are weird, but then, like, if your girl loves you enough to, like, do something cute that she knows you like football, so like, oh, I'm gonna do something with this team, and like, oh, I'll make a joke about it. Like, oh, you like that. I mean, if your girl's interested in something that you like, it's cool. Even if it's a joke. I mean, at weddings, my parents like pied each other in the face with the cake, and like, so.
See, that's what could have been his joke. Like, joke's on you.
Hit her in the face.
It's coming.
All over the
It's coming.
face.
Well,
I guarantee her dress is going to be stained with LSU colors after that.
I mean, most of the time, if you watched before the cake cutting ceremonies, the bride is like saying through her gritted teeth, like, do you know how much money I spent on this face with this makeup and this hair? And do you know how much I spent on this dress? Like, don't ruin it. I want to give this dress to our daughter, you know. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know how rival fans do it.
I don't know.
Like, I feel like this is already.
She's an LSU fan.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought she was just doing this to piss him off.
No, she's an LSU fan. He's a Bama fan, and she gets secretly the LSU cake made. I don't know how rival fans do it, because I feel like with that automatic gesture, like, they're going to be divorced in under 5 years.
When they have the house divided stickers or the shirts.
I don't get it.
Luckily, LSU sucks, so like, it's not going to be that big of a rivalry for them.
I've always thought the house divided is just one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I would never.
I don't know how people do it. I mean, the sports fans that I've dated in the past, I've hated their teams, and they were never my rivals. But I hated them because I started to hate the person.
Right.
Like, I can't imagine, like, hating a team and then falling in love with the person who likes the hated team.
Kind of like, so that's a good topic. It's like Danica Patrick, who grew up and has always been a Bears fan, and now she's with Aaron Rodgers, so she is devout now to the Packers.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Right?
I think she still can be a Bears fan, but, you know, she's just not.
Yeah, but Bears fans don't want her now.
No, but she's going to choose not to wear Bears gear, and she can also choose not to wear Packers gear.
Nah.
She can just go support it.
Nah. I don't like it.
I didn't like it either. I was like, oh, I would boo you. I boo you anyways, but I would really boo you.
It's different if they play for a team, because you have to support that person. But when you're both just fans and neither one is actually on the field, then I had a girl tell me today at Wicked Barley Jen, she was like, oh yeah, I'm, you know, one thing, my husband's the other, in Florida State, and Florida Georgia, we've gone to separate parties on Florida Georgia because she's the Gator, he's the dog, and she's like, it's just more fun that way. And I think to myself, like, it's smart, but it's also so, like, it doesn't surprise me, but I'm sure it's so funny to most couples if they don't have, that rivalry. It's just so much easier to cheer for the same team.
Yeah.
You will bicker so much more if you've got opposing teams. Because everything, like right now, you know, or what last year with all the Florida suspensions. Right. If you're a Florida State or a Georgia fan, you know, you are just constantly in the ear of the Florida fan. Like, I thought you had a good school. You've been telling me all these years Florida's such a good school. Why are all these guys committing credit card fraud? You know, like, wait, do you need my credit card for dinner? Oh, wait.
How many times have you heard
fraud.
this?
Like, I haven't heard it at all, but I can only picture what's going on around.
And imagine, like, just the smallest little fight that doesn't even have to do with football or sports, and then you're just thinking, oh, a stupid Titans fan. A Titans fan would do that.
I wanted the taco dip. And of course, you got the buffalo chicken dip again.
Leave it to the Titans.
Well, also, with the LSU, with the cake prank, why is the groom cake at the wedding ceremony?
That's always at the
groom's
wedding.
Cake.
I didn't even know there was such a thing as a groom's
It's
cake.
a rehearsal dinner.
No, it's usually vanilla is the choice for, or something like that. It's a plain one for the wedding cake, and then the groom's cake is usually chocolate. So that's how they get the chocolate in
My
there.
husband got his groom cake at the rehearsal dinner. That way, it is all about his cake.
Sure. You do it however
Because
you want to do
then you do your wedding cake. Why would you have two cakes?
if you want vanilla and chocolate. That's the only reason.
Then create the marble cake. That's what it is.
Well, people like me refuse to eat any chocolate, even if it's a marble cake. I'm not going to eat any vanilla if it was touching the chocolate.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I don't eat chocolate, but I still find chocolate delicious when they're in Peter Bear's chocolate heels. All right, when we come back, we're gonna wrap the show with a few fun topics like cold takes, theme parks, and curfews. That's all coming up next. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL. Lauren Brooks here for Bold City Health. So much more than just a chiropractor. I heard about Bold City Health through a good friend of mine who goes there since she's looking to lose weight. I asked her why she would see a chiropractor instead of a nutritionist. She explained that Bold City Health is both. Dr. Aaron and Dr. April will help you get your spine back in alignment so the nervous system is working properly, and the staff will even take you grocery shopping so you learn the right foods to eat. Plus, there are tons of recipes available online at boldcitychiropractic.com. Every patient gets one-on-one attention to ensure they're on the right path to improve their overall health. If you want to learn how to master your metabolism, mark your calendar for Saturday, August 4th at Trinity Fitness in Riverside, when Bold City Health will present Freedom Through Fitness. You'll learn how small changes to your daily activities can have a big effect on your overall fitness, no matter how busy you are. There are so many reasons to see my friends at Bold City Health, so give them a call today at 379-4621 or head to boldcitychiropractic.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just realized my sentence. I sent
I can't.
Tom a sentence for an email about massage envy because I laugh when he said, "It's not like a client. We need it right away." I'm like,
Do we have a splitter capability
so I
here?
recorded when I got here.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
To hear like the
and Tom's gonna
sound.
produce it.
I know when we do like
Nice.
remote
So I asked
shows,
him,
I'm able to
I
use
said,
a
"Look,
For you to
splitter
hear
I
what
use the same
sound?
music
for me to
bed,
pipe
that's what they
in
want.
sound.
Oh,
It's on my
no.
drive,
No.
and I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
So Taylor's at work
We
right
are
now.
on bare bones.
And I asked him earlier, and he hasn't responded. So I just sent him a sentence. Do you need me to have Taylor send you
Yeah.
the bed for me?
That's even different than like the remote
and like
shows.
ME because of
Yeah,
massage
yeah.
envy. I was like,
Will he
I'm pretty
understand
sure
that?
he's gonna understand what that means.
Now, you recorded it where? Here?
Yeah, when I came in, as soon as I walked in, Cole was here, and
Oh, okay.
so he walked me up here, and then I asked him about recording, and because I already spoke with Dave Hall about it, and
Okay. Well, that's good.
yeah, so he put me down there and he recorded it for me and emailed it. Yeah,
Yeah, when I saw the salespeople email that to them, like, they really have no idea what's going on here.
well, it's all good.
Nobody knows.
No.
Yeah, I suggest you snag this chair when you come back next week.
Good idea. I was hoping
Because you're not very comfy, are you?
I was hoping we wouldn't be here next week.
Oh, no,
Yes,
we will.
that would be amazing if we're
That's
not.
what I was hoping.
No, we will.
At least next week, right? Possibly the following week too.
Well, with that kind of attitude.
August 6th, we're getting back in. We have to.
Did you just break into that closet for that chair?
It was open.
Oh.
The one that says do not lock?
It was open.
It was open. And I took it.
The one that says don't remove any chairs from this place.
Is that what it says?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
See, now
Rebel.
I would rather swim with sharks than take this tower down.
Yeah, me too.
Where'd you get that picture?
Richie just sent it.
Me too.
Oh, okay.
Well, aren't they doing it from a helicopter?
Well, the guys have to be
Yes.
there to dismantle it, and then the
Attach
helicopter
it to
will
a
take.
helicopter,
Yeah.
right.
What are they doing with it after it's?
Just getting rid of it. It's like 40 years old or 50 years old or something
Nope.
crazy like that.
Why they
The
pick
one out here is-
training camp
You
time?
You could just tell the difference between age. Like the one out here looks
Yeah.
brand new.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and it's interesting because I even thought about that tower when the hurricane came last year.
Oh, I was
Ryan
at the
said he was
studio
gonna
during the hurricane.
stay at the
doing
station.
like a game or something.
And I was like, has anyone
Even
made
thought
sure
about
this tower's
that?
okay?
Right.
We
And
came in for the kickoff show
Yeah, I'm sure
on
that
the couple
hurricane
days
was
after.
seriously-
I remember I had to do my prep work at Dunkin' Donuts because I still didn't
It
have.
was a Texans game or something
Yeah.
like that, maybe.
It was an away game.
Oh, maybe it was that game in London?
No.
Okay.
I'm
It
deleting
was
this.
the Texans game
Yeah.
for sure, game one.
Deleting the Scrubbles.
Yeah, because the Texans were
Thing.
supposed to play
I don't
here,
know.
or they were thinking about moving them
Oh,
over here
yeah,
for
yeah,
their
yeah.
hurricane.
That's
I
right, because
didn't
Harvey
think
hit
that's like, well, we
there
got
like the week
that
before.
I've
Yeah.
done.
So I remember
Y'all
that
can't come
meme.
here because we got
But
our own
Tom has
hurricane.
it, so it's
Fuck.
fine.
Yeah.
Tom, I'll just put that we already have that spot. That's fine.
Yeah, we just need a schedule for it, I guess. Because we schedule goals.
Yeah, they're traffic.
Yeah.
Okay, but I haven't gotten anything from Bowles yet, other than the
Right.
list, other than this Scrubbles thing. So
Okay.
we don't have to do anything just yet. But
How soon does high school football start?
Very soon.
August 31st is the first game on our radio station. August 24th is like their jamboree.
Yeah, the thing where all the coaches are together, I think, is next week at the Jags field.
It is, yeah, the high school Baker Sports Day.
Yeah, I'm actually going this year.
Tyler and I are doing 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. by ourselves.
Cool. Yeah, me and Hack will be there.
You and Tyler?
Mm-hmm.
6 a.m. to what?
7 a.m.
Oh,
And
okay.
then Dan and Jeff take over from Bigger Sport.
All right, here we go. Y'all take this all the way to the end of the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tell me, like, when we have, like, 4 minutes or
Right.
something like that, please, like you normally do. Thank you.
Entering the last segment of tonight's show, it's kind of flown by at our temporary locations
Yeah.
here at Channel 4. This is Helmets and Heels built by Dreamfinders Homes. My name is Blythe Brumley. Donna Murphy and Lauren Brooks are joined with me. And Wade Phillips, who's obviously a very famous football coach in the NFL, has been around for a long time. Back in July 2012, before J.J. Watt's breakout season, said that Watt was going to be a bust. Not a first-round bust, but a bust in the Hall of Fame. So what is sort of the worst, and now looking back on it, you kind of think, well, maybe he's probably right. He will be.
I think so.
Probably a Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
especially with all the rumors that he's, seen in better shape than what he has been in recent years. But it got me wondering, what has been the worst sports take you've ever had?
Cam Newton. I thought he would fail. Which,
Right out the gate?
yeah. Which he was great right out the gate. He's proved me wrong. But for some reason, there was something about Cam Newton. I'm like, nope, don't like his style of play. I don't know. I don't know why, but there was, and he proved me wrong. Now, style of play needs to catch back up to where
Sure.
it was,
Maybe dive
that
on
level, yeah, that
fumbles
level
in the
kinda
Super
went
Bowl. That might help.
Right. So,
Most recently, I would say it's absolutely Blake Bortles. A year ago,
Yeah.
I was not only saying, is he a terrible quarterback because he can't even throw a spiral, but I was making fun of him for the 5 interceptions in practice, and I didn't think he really, understood enough of the playbook. I thought he had no chemistry with the wide receivers. We saw the whole Allen Robinson keep it in bounds, bro. And I really had made up my mind that he will be cut from the franchise and absolutely not get the 5th-year option. I thought for sure he was done.
We made predictions on the show of how long Blake would last during the season. I was going back and listening through all of our shows from last year, and I think you said like in the middle of the year. I said closer to 10 games, and then I think Lauren, you said like 2 or 3 games. So it was we were all.
I was pulling the plug. That's what I was doing.
And
I had seen enough.
Well, similar to Lauren's take, mine was if you're not going to sign Colin Kaepernick, tank the season, fire Dave Caldwell, and throw a stack at Kirk Cousins. That was my exact thing that I said and I tweeted out. And I looked at it like right after the season was over because, of course, the team went to the AFC Championship game. Blake Bortles had an incredible year, and Dave Caldwell looks like a genius. It made us all look like fools. And I was like, oh, wow, that is definitely the worst take I've ever had.
Well, I mean, the Colin Kaepernick part aside, because that's a whole nother conversation, but I can see where wanting Kirk Cousins, even if you're a converted believer like I am now, I think Blake's going to have his best season yet. I still think there's a good bit of people that would like to have Kirk Cousins here. You're talking about a guy, though, who doesn't have any postseason victories, and Blake does, so the conversation or the debate can be had over who's better. But when you just purely watch them in a football game, Kirk Cousins looks like the more comfortable, natural thrower. I mean, Blake even said, I'm not a natural thrower of the football. Cousins looks like the leader. But that's what's going to be fun about this season is getting to see, with all the moves that happened with Pat Mahomes starting as a rookie for Kansas City and Alex Smith now at the Redskins and Cousins obviously with the Vikings.
Lamar Jackson with the Ravens.
Now as a backup quarterback being thrown in at wide receiver for the Ravens, is that going to work? And so
Sam Darnold with the Jets.
Sure. Is Marcus Mariota going to have a bounce back year?
Nope.
I mean, I think Blake is looking around and he can go from a quarterback who I think nowadays is pretty much ranked like a top 20 quarterback.
I think maybe top 15.
I think if you look at most lists, I think he's going to be lower than 15.
Well, that's the reason why I picked for him to start
15.
as long in the season as possible, because I wanted the Jaguars to tank so they could get a really good draft pick, because all the talk last season was this is going to be the best quarterback draft that we've seen in years and years, and I was like, well, we need to start Blake then so we can tank the season and then get a really high draft pick again.
See, I wanted Deshaun Watson. I was all about getting the signal caller out of Clemson, who had just come off winning a national championship. Clearly, he was the leader and athletic guy. I thought he'd be great, and from the short part of what we got to see from him last season, I thought he was great.
He's already being billed as like the not rookie of the year. You can't be rookie of the year anymore, but like MVP type season. This coming
player.
It's like, come on, he only played 2 games. Let's give it a. Did he play two games?
6, 7, maybe 7 or 8, 6, 7 or 8. I forget.
Really,
and he
that
played a half
games?
against the Jaguars, and then I want to say he started 6 or 7 games. So in the end, he might have played.
Why am I thinking 2?
8 total. But yeah, because remember the Texans had scored like over 40 points in 2 games back to back with Deshaun Watson at quarterback, and so that's why their defense wasn't that good at that point, because all the guys got hurt. But
everybody started dropping
everybody
like
was
flies.
falling in love with Watson, and rightfully so.
Well, didn't we play them in week 2?
Week 1.
Week 1, yeah.
Week 1.
Yeah.
And so that's when he came in the second half.
Yeah.
Right, and that's when they scored. They hadn't scored in the first half.
7 games.
7
games, huh? I'll be damned.
I know it's always somewhere around 6, 7, or 8.
Comeback player, he could win.
Yeah, he absolutely could. But either way, that's a take that I'm so glad that I was way off, because you did talk about a season that was the best this city has seen in this century.
Yeah,
right?
it's definitely good to be wrong about that.
Century.
Well, let's see what takes are going to be way off this year.
Well, unfortunately, because there are so many more people high on the Jaguars, I'm a little nervous on that.
I don't like all this attention.
I think
outside.
I think the team goes 13-3.
Well, moving on to our next topic, I ran across this article that is sort of talking about the best away-from-home attractions. So meaning like the movies, national parks, theme parks, sporting events, things like that. And it listed the rankings of what people attend the most. And going into this article, Forbes was trying to compare the activities outside the homes to see how they ranked. So the national parks ranked 330 million. That came in first. And what was really surprising is AMC Theaters ranked 310 million. They were ranked second on this list, followed by Disney Parks, which is 89 million. And then the first sport that was on the list was Major League Baseball with 72 million, followed by college football.
There's
and
more
then it
games
goes
in baseball.
Yeah. But it was really surprising to me that there's sort of the national parks get that many amount of visitors, and then AMC Theaters.
Yeah, it is. It's surprising.
Well, the only caveat with the story with this study is that unique visitors were counted, so repeat visitors weren't counted. So if you're an annual pass holder, if you're a season ticket holder, your repeat visit wasn't counted. And even national parks, a lot of these national parks have annual passes now too, or like group buys, where say like Huguenot Park and I think in Hanna Park, if you can buy an annual pass and it applies to both of them. So if you were to visit those parks more than once, you would only be counted as one unique visitor in this study. But it was really surprising to me. I don't know if it was surprising to you guys at all.
The national park doesn't surprise me. The movie theaters does.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not big into walking around a park. A national park.
Oh, they're so beautiful, though. My parents are, well, I know about it because my parents are avid, like, hikers, and they travel all over the United States just to hike at different national parks. And so it's seeing their pictures, I'm like, wow, that's definitely something I want to do.
I don't know. That's not an interest of, I'd rather paddleboard on a lake, go tubing.
You can do that in a national park.
Yeah, you can do all those
things.
things.
I'm not walking around hills and hiking and not
I think that you think a national park means like literally a walking trail.
Around.
That's not really
That's
what a national park is like huge.
I don't want to go see a geyser. I'm okay.
Borges just went to Wyoming and Montana, and her pictures were incredible. She saw
but did she have to walk?
But she saw just some amazing stuff. Bison, a geyser. And then I have a friend who just got married in
Donna's
Yosemite.
like, I could Google image all that stuff.
I feel like we should ask you the same question in like 6 months.
Maybe.
Yeah. I feel like you would have a different answer. But do you think that this list is going to stay the same for the foreseeable future, or do you think that the rankings will adjust a little bit?
You would think people would stop going to the movies as much, but if it's
I
still
would think
up
people
there,
would stop going to theme parks because whereas you look at different sporting events have reduced their prices for food and drinks to try and make it more affordable. I haven't been to a theme park recently, but the last time I went to one, I remember thinking a Diet Coke costs like $8. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
You bring your own
and I feel like they
water
probably
You
got
can.
more expensive.
You can bring your own
and we
drinks
live in
inside.
Florida. Like, just growing up in Florida, I think we're spoiled when it comes to theme parks. Like, I look at Disney World, you know, the complete opposite of the way Blythe and Hacker does. I'm just like,
I'm ready for you to talk some crap.
Who cares? You know, but then there's people that are like, oh my God, we've been planning all year to fly down with 3 of our kids and to go to Disney World for a week, and it's going to be the greatest thing ever. To me, it's like, you could drive there in an hour. It kind of sucks. But
no, it
Go on a
doesn't.
hike.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying that's how some.
But it is super expensive, right?
It depends on how you can play the game, because as the annual pass holder, I only pay $30 a month,
Right.
and
but
I can go.
You're paying for yourself. You got to think of family with kids. It is
But
ridiculous.
you can bring your, at Disney World, you can still bring your backpacks
No.
in. I don't know why, sporting events don't let you do this, but you can bring a backpack in full of food, full of drinks. I bring a collapsible water bottle. I can fill it up at the water fountains, which is filtered water. Save a lot of money that way.
That's great. That's for you, though.
But kids, you can do the same thing.
That's a drink. You're saving $10 on a drink. This is like $150 for each person to go for one trip. Yeah, it's insanely ridiculous.
But it's an experience.
And your kids look at all the stuff in the stores and they're like, I have to have that.
That's why it's a vacation. It's not like a day trip.
I'm telling you, we took little dude.
If you're going to go on vacation, you got to bring the cash, Donna.
Dude.
You got to be ready.
We took little dude 2 years ago, and we took him to Disney one day and the Fun Spot the other day. And the Fun Spot
like $20.
was
But how old was
awesome.
he? But how old was he at the time?
That's where you get hand and mouth disease, though.
Probably. That's probably where we got the hand, foot, and mouth. I'm telling you.
3.
It was.
Yeah, that's not really old enough to be able to appreciate Disney.
No, and you see parents walking around with their kids in strollers and babies at baseball games and all this crap.
Because, newsflash, the parents love the baseball games in Disney.
It's ridiculous. I saw that one guy be celebrated again for catching a home run or a foul ball.
That was
maybe.
awesome.
I'm like, no, there's nothing awesome about it.
Well,
Did you see
Don't have a baby at a
the baby
game.
was sheltered. Like, the catch was in no way
The baby
endangering
wasn't
the
even
baby.
close to the
Don't
ball.
have a
say
baby at a game.
You'd have a baby at a bar.
But if
know.
you do bring a baby to a game, catch the home run like he did.
I'm telling
That
you,
was awesome.
it is going to
I thought that
happen
was
just
awesome, too.
once, and then that's when I will come back and be like, see? I told you all! But it'll only happen once out of like 100 times.
Oh, see, I thought you
Hopefully
were
it
talking
never
about
happens.
the
Hopefully
Cubs
maybe never
fan
does.
or whatever that took the ball from the little boy and then come to
But
find
he
out.
was actually a really good guy.
Yeah, he gave away a couple foul balls earlier, and then the kid ended up making up for it at
That
the
whole
end.
culture really grinds my gears, by the way, as a single male
Grinds
that
your
has
gears?
never got a foul ball at a game. I'm not giving a foul ball to any kid.
Same.
I'm sorry.
I've never
I'm
caught a foul
sorry.
ball at a game. If I catch one and there's little kids around, I'm
keeping it.
sorry, little
I'm
kids.
keeping it.
You got to learn from a young age. You got to fight for what you want.
This is
What
America.
if the kid shoved you over in order to get the ball?
Hey,
Kudos
you
to
got
him.
it.
Okay.
Kudos to the kid.
as it works.
No shame whatsoever.
I haven't been in the movie theaters in 4 years either, so I don't know about that. But also,
4 years?
Yeah,
They're
Wow.
second on this list.
that's
second.
I was gonna say
What
going
did
back
you
to
see?
the American Sniper.
That is a long time.
Yeah, and I have zero plans to
See,
go back.
I
There's like
haven't-
American
isn't-
Sniper 4 by now.
Aren't the movies kind of expensive too? As far as
Yes,
buying
but
stuff?
it's so much better now
Movie
because you
Pass.
get Movie Pass is all right. I think they're gonna slowly they're gonna get rid of it. Movie Pass is definitely going
it's
out the
too
way.
good a bang for your buck. You basically pay like $10 a month and you see unlimited movies that month.
But they've also changed it to where you have to be within like a certain radius of the theater,
ticket.
and you have to be able to check in like within 30 minutes of the movie. You don't get a guaranteed seat, and that's what I like about the movie theaters now is that you can pay and you can reserve your seat, so you don't have to show up hours before the
Aren't
movie
the
starts.
concessions also expensive?
You just take a big person, son.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hi to that.
Well, and
Sorry, movie
that-
theater.
You
I
stop at
do.
the dollar
I don't
store,
have a
pick up all the
purse.
candy you want.
And yes,
Cargo
it's
pants.
very. If it's like winter time at the movies, I'm stocking up.
Right.
But when it's summertime and I'm in shorts, I'm like, dang, I'm gonna have to.
Cargo
Just bring in a
shorts.
huge
$15.
jacket in the middle of a 100-degree summer day.
I mean,
It's
that's
not
true.
going to look suspicious
Cargo
at all.
shorts. That's what the cargo shorts
But yeah,
are.
if you get a drink and a popcorn, it's $15.
Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness
easily.
gracious. We went to Publix right before we went to see American Sniper that time because it was like a dinner
That
movie.
time 4 years ago, I'll never forget it.
I won't forget it because in the scene where, and I'm not spoiling anything, in the scene where
Spoil
Yeah,
old.
don't worry about
Correct.
that.
He's got
If
his,
you haven't seen it by now, people.
he's got his gun focused on a little kid.
Yeah.
In that scene, like the most high intense scene of the movie. My cousin opens her pub sub.
Oh, no.
And you hear all this crackling, and I'm like, how can you begin to eat?
You got to pick your
At a
moments.
time
You
like
got to pick
this,
your moments.
a child is about to lose its life at the hands of an American sniper, and you're eating a pub sub.
That's when
and
I
that's
always
why
get
I will
hungry.
That's why I will never forget that moment.
She's like,
A
oh,
child
this is
death
about to
scene in
get
a movie.
real,
Yeah.
yo.
Right, like how can you crave your turkey and lettuce and tomatoes?
Maybe she's having anxiety.
No, she just didn't care. She was like, oh, this is a good movie. Chomp.
Hey,
Chomp.
You gotta
war,
pick your
war is
movies.
evil. I mean, she knew that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for making this night fun on my vacation, ladies.
Right back at you. I know I'm not technically on vacation, but I'm not really at work either.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's pretty good. All right.
It's been fun. It's been real.
It's been.
By the
all
way,
of
I
above.
recorded. We didn't get to talk about the ESPYs with
No.
Danica hosting, and I recorded it just because I wanted to see if any, any Jags were mentioned. Or
Yeah.
Was it any good?
I
You're
don't
the
think
only
she-
person that recorded
I-
that
Yeah.
in America.
Look, I don't like her. I am her number one least fan, correct?
true.
I have been very vocal about that. And with how much she was bashed by Prosser Friday, I think, when I listened, whatever, I went back and watched her monologue, and it was fine. I laughed. It's because no sports diva athlete can laugh at themselves. They make jokes about the Oscars and the Emmys and the Globes. That's because they can all laugh at each other. No athlete laughs at themselves. It was the same thing last year when Rob Riggle hosted. And I died laughing, but no one else in the place is laughing.
Yeah. Bottom line is, don't agree to host the ESPYs because you
No,
will
they don't think you're
receive
funny.
So much flack.
Career suicide.
I didn't think she was bad.
All right. Well done tonight, JJ. Congratulations to whomever won tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel. We will be back next week, same place, right here, Channel 4. You've been listening to Hummus and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes. Stay tuned for Hacker After Dark with the man himself, Hacker the Ryan Green. For Blythe Brumleve and Donna Murphy, I'm Lauren Brooks. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.
Hi, guys. We'll be back here next Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Go Jags.
I couldn't tell if